A soft breeze ghosted through the open window, making the curtains dance. A sliver of morning sun sliced through the gap, relentlessly poking at the young man's eyes. Ethan White slowly blinked himself awake, raising an arm to block the light. He sat up, a dizzying fog clouding his mind. Ugh, what happened? He stumbled over to the window and pulled the curtains shut, but the wind, determined to have its way, gusted again, blowing them wide open. Come on, seriously? Ethan muttered, moving to shut the window itself. But as he got closer, a face that wasn't his own stared back at him from the glass. It was a young, almost boyish face with clear skin, deep-set dark eyes, and sharp, handsome features. He was, to his own surprise, objectively good-looking. Is this me? Ethan pressed his face against the cool pane, his fingers tracing the unfamiliar contours of his cheeks. He pinched himself hard until a sharp sting confirmed the bizarre reality. He was this person now. I was in my dorm room, doing my homework. How'd I end up here? He staggered back and collapsed onto the bed, his head spinning as he tried to retrace his steps. Suddenly, a flash of white light exploded behind his eyes, a searing pain that sent him curling into a ball on the mattress, writhing until, after a long minute, the agony finally subsided. Did I transmigrate? A thin sheen of sweat slicked his forehead as he sat up again. The flash of light had done more than just hurt. It had unlocked a flood of memories, his own, and those of the body he now inhabited. So I really died? He thought, a sense of disbelief washing over him. The last thing he remembered was being in his dorm, cramming for his organic chemistry final. He'd stared at the complex molecular structures for so long, feeling the pressure mount, that his brain had simply short-circuited, a stress-induced aneurysm. The irony was so thick he could choke on it. Dying over OChem has to be a first. I wonder what the school will think. He pressed a hand to his forehead. Man, what an embarrassing way to go. Well, no point dwelling on it. He pushed the thought away. That world is gone. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. I never got the chance to pay you back for everything. He looked up at the ceiling, a silent apology on his lips, then forced himself to take a deep breath. What's done is done. You're here now, so you deal with it. He sat on the edge of the bed and sorted through the memories of the boy whose life he'd stolen. His name, coincidentally, was also Ethan White, a college student. And the reason for his death was, in its own way, just as tragic and absurd as his own. This Ethan had met a girl at Northridge University and fallen for her hard. He'd finally worked up the courage to ask her out, cornering her on the rooftop of the science building for a grand, heartfelt confession. The girl had just given him a look of pure disgust and said, "Pathetic," before walking away. As if that wasn't bad enough, she'd then proceeded to tell everyone. Within hours, the entire campus knew. Every corner he turned, he was met with whispers and mocking laughter. For the original Ethan, it was a world-ending humiliation. He'd gone to the store, bought a bottle of sleeping pills, and checked out. What a goddamn waste, the new Ethan sighed. To throw away a life like that, over some stupid gossip. It's a tragedy, but so extreme. He glanced at the nightstand, where an empty pill bottle lay next to a few scattered capsules. He swept them into his hand and tossed them into the trash. Don't worry, Ethan said, clenching his fist. I'll live a good life for you. He mused for a moment. It's strange. Our personalities, our way of thinking, they're so similar. Same name, too. If it weren't for the face, you'd think he was just me from another dimension. He opened the bedroom door and stepped into the living room. It was dark and still, the only light coming from the sunbeams forcing their way into the apartment, faintly illuminating the furniture. Right? His parents work abroad. That's why it's so quiet. The thought came to him naturally, and he didn't even notice the seamless way he'd switched from his to my. Just as he reached for the light switch, a series of frantic, heavy knocks echoed from the front door. Who the hell is that? Ethan muttered. A cold dread washed over him. Don't tell me it's one of that girl's psycho admirers. Here to finish the job. He froze, holding his breath. If I don't make a sound, they'll go away. The banging continued for another minute, loud and insistent, then stopped. A moment later, he heard the faint sound of footsteps retreating down the hall. Phew. See? Outsmarted them. He let out a shaky breath. The sudden silence was almost as terrifying as the knocking, a heavy, oppressive presence in the dead-quiet apartment. He crept to the door and peered through the peephole. The hallway was dark. His apartment building was old, with no windows in the corridors, so they were equipped with motion sensor lights. The light's not on. They must be gone. He pressed his ear to the door, listening intently. Nothing. This place isn't safe, he thought. I should probably crash at a hotel for a few days. The original Ethan's parents sent him money regularly, and since he wasn't a big spender, he had a decent amount saved up. Terrified of another visit from the girl's posse, Ethan grabbed his phone and unlocked the door. He was just about to step over the threshold when he saw them, a pair of luminous, pale blue eyes suspended in the darkness of the hallway. Ethan froze. Such beautiful eyes. Wait a second. It's an ambush. In a split second, he yanked the doorknob, trying to slam the door shut, but he was too slow. A small, slender hand, white as snow, shot out and gripped the doorframe. No matter how hard Ethan pulled, the door wouldn't budge. Seeing it was a lost cause, he didn't hesitate. He turned and sprinted back toward the bedroom. The original Ethan, for all his despair, had been a cautious guy. He kept a metal pipe under his bed. As he ran, a thought flickered through his mind. The hand was so delicate, so pale. It had to be a girl's, but he, a healthy young man, couldn't overpower her. His feet moved even faster. This is a serious threat. He reached the bedroom, snatched the pipe from under the bed, and brandished it toward the living room. "Hey," he yelled, his voice cracking slightly. "Don't make me do something we'll both regret." He figured a tough guy line might boost his own morale, maybe even scare her off. The figure didn't retreat. Instead, it slowly stepped out of the shadows and into the slivers of sunlight piercing the room. His breath caught in his throat. She had vibrant, pale blue eyes, a small, delicate nose, and lips like cherries on a slightly cherubic face, all framed by a cascade of silky black hair. She was stunningly beautiful, outshining even the morning sun. Ethan froze, a jolt of recognition hitting him. He knew this girl. Her name was Lily Foster, his childhood friend, and he remembered with a sinking feeling his stalker. An incident from their past had twisted her affection for him into a dangerous, all-consuming obsession. Lily was pathologically shy and withdrawn, barely speaking to anyone, except when it came to Ethan. Then, she was a completely different person, assertive, relentless, and fiercely possessive. Anything she considered hers, no one else could touch. He remembered back in elementary school, another girl tried to befriend him. The next day, she transferred. Lily had whispered in his ear, a chill running down his spine. "Only I get to be your friend, Ethan. If you make other friends, it won't be as simple as them just transferring next time." That threat had hung over him for years, turning him into a ghost in his own classes. It wasn't that he didn't want friends. He was too afraid to make them. The pressure from Lily, combined with the soul-crushing humiliation of his public rejection, was what had finally pushed the original Ethan over the edge. "Lily, it's you," he stammered. "I thought." Before he could finish, she launched herself at him, her lips crashing against his. "MMPH. I'm being kissed?" Ethan's mind went blank. 20 years on this earth, a bona fide virgin, and he was being forcibly kissed by a beautiful, unhinged girl. The sweet, strawberry-scented taste of her lips, mixed with a faint, pleasant fragrance that was uniquely hers, sent Ethan's heart into overdrive. A cocktail of the original Ethan's lingering emotions and his own panic made him shove her away. "Lily, what are you doing?" he snapped, though his voice trembled. She was a stunning girl, but he wasn't about to be manhandled. "You've been a bad boy, Ethan," she cooed. The sound was melodic, but it sent a freezing chill from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Her eyes, once so full of life, were now chillingly dark and vacant. "See? That girl you confessed to is still alive and well. Even though you never confessed to me." As she spoke, she seemed to snap. Her hand slid into her oversized hoodie, and she slowly pulled out a small hatchet. "But that's okay. We'll be together in the end. And if you still care about that other girl, that's fine too. Every year, I'll will you to her grave so you can pay your respects. She's a monster. An absolute monster. Wait, why are you pulling out a hatchet? This is not the fresh start I had in mind." Ethan scrambled backward, trying to put distance between them. He scanned the room for an escape route, but for every step he took, she took one forward, methodically cutting off his path. "Lily, put the hatchet down. We can talk about this, okay?" He tried to sound soothing, his survival instinct screaming at him. She acted as if she hadn't heard him. In a flash, she lunged, pushing him back onto the bed. She straddled his hips, pressing the cold, flat side of the blade against his cheek, stroking it along his jawline. "So, Ethan," she purred, "should I start with your hands or your feet? This is it. I'm gonna die." A wave of pure terror washed over him. Like a drowning man, he flailed, his hands grabbing blindly at anything they could find. "Wait, what's that feeling?" His gaze shifted downward. Lily, who had been an avatar of cold fury just a second ago, was now flushed bright red, her eyes locked on his. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." "If it's you, Ethan," she whispered, leaning down, her breath hot against his ear, "it's okay." "What is happening? Is this the same person?" Seeing her switch from psycho killer to flustered maiden in a split second, Ethan finally understood why the original guy had been so terrified of her. Who could handle these insane mood swings? "What's wrong, Ethan?" she asked, noticing his hesitation. She pressed her full weight onto him, nearly squeezing the air from his lungs. "Or, do you want me to take the lead?" The warmth of her breath, the soft murmur in his ear, it was almost enough to shatter his defenses. But a sliver of rationality held on. "Lily," he wheezed, "can you get up for a second? I can't breathe." Seeing the genuine discomfort on his face, Lily reluctantly shifted off him. But she kept a tight grip on the hatchet, her eyes never leaving him, as if afraid he'd vanish the moment she blinked. Sensing her fear, Ethan sat up and, to her surprise, scooted a little closer. He saw the corner of her lips twitch into a tiny, hidden smile and finally let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. The immediate danger to his life seemed to have passed. "A girl like you shouldn't be holding something so dangerous," he said softly, reaching for the hand that held the hatchet. "Here, give it to me." But her grip tightened, her knuckles white. She stared at him, her eyes wide and wary. "Trust me," he said, his voice gentle. "I'm not going to run." At those words, it was as if all the tension drained out of her. Her hand went limp, and she let him take the hatchet. Ethan immediately tossed it to the far corner of the room, a wave of relief washing over him. "Lily, you call me Lily," she interrupted, her voice small. "Please." Ethan paused. He remembered that ever since they'd met, he'd always called her by her full name, Lily Foster. It was a habit born from the distance he tried to keep. He looked at the fragile, almost shy girl in front of him. "Is this really the same person from 5 minutes ago?" "Okay, Lily." Her eyes lit up with hope as she waited. When he said nothing more, her face fell, her long hair curtaining her expression. Her body began to tremble slightly, a silent, heartbreaking shudder. Hey, don't cry," he said, panicking. Okay, I promise." "Really?" she asked, slowly looking up, a few teardrops clinging to her lashes. For a split second, he thought he saw her mouth quirk in a smirk, but looking at her pitiful, tear-streaked face, he decided he must have imagined it. "Cross my heart," he said. "Then call me Lily." "Lily." Again. "Lily." 10 more times. After calling her name 10 times, Lily finally seemed to calm down. She closed her eyes like a contented kitten, listening, and a strange flutter went through Ethan's chest. "Lily, can you let me explain?" he started, deciding to go all in on a lie. "I don't actually like that girl." "Then why did I hear from everyone at school that you confessed to her?" "It was an accident." "Well, not an accident. The truth is, I don't like her at all." "Then why confess?" she demanded, her eyes snapping open. He could see the storm clouds gathering again. One wrong answer, and she'd be retrieving the hatchet. He met her gaze, his expression as serious as he could make it. Because I wanted to make you jealous." Lily stared at him, frozen, her face unreadable. The silence stretched, and Ethan's blood ran cold. Did she see through it? "Ethan, are you telling the truth?" she finally asked, her voice trembling. "Yes." You don't hate me?" "No." "You're not disgusted by me?" "Never." "You're not afraid of me?" "No, you don't." Before she could continue her list of insecurities, Ethan took her hand and gently kissed the back of it. He looked her straight in the eye, his voice sincere. "Lily, I like you." "I like you too, Ethan." Lily threw her arms around him, burrowing her head into his chest like she was trying to fuse with him. Ethan stroked her silky hair. "Lily, will you trust me?" A muffled came from his chest, and then she went still. After a moment of silence, Ethan realized she'd fallen asleep, curled up against him like a cat. He carefully scooped her into his arms. Wow, girls are light, he thought, surprised. How can I, a 5'10" guy, be weaker than a 5'4" girl? Yet I can carry her so easily? He gently laid her on his bed and pulled the covers over her. Her body is so soft, too. But what was that hard thing I felt at her waist earlier? He shook his head. Never mind. I need a minute to cool off. Before leaving, he grabbed the hatchet from the corner and put it in the living room, then headed for the bathroom. He splashed cold water on his face and stared at his reflection in the mirror, his mind racing. Okay, so Lily's what people would call a Yandere. She must have latched onto the original Ethan after something specific happened between them, but there's nothing about it in his memories. He first saw her when she transferred to his school. Whatever, I'll take it one step at a time. The #1 priority is to survive being the object of a Yandere's affection. And there's only one way to do that. I have to fix her. I have to heal her. Operation Cure Lily has officially begun. Lily was dreaming. A terrible dream where Ethan abandoned her, leaving her all alone in the apartment. He was with that girl from the rooftop, happy, holding hands. No, you can't. She shot awake, her pillow soaked with tears. It was just a dream, she murmured. Her heart hammering, she frantically looked around the room. The boy she lived and breathed for was gone. The nightmare flooded back, and a wave of unbearable despair washed over her. Her pale blue eyes slowly darkened, her fingernails digging into her palms. Her head tilted to the side like a broken doll. I'll just have to lock him up, she thought, her voice a dead whisper. That's the only way Ethan will listen to me. She slid off the bed and noticed the hatchet was gone. Sly boy, she giggled softly. She reached for her waist, her fingers closing around the handle of a fruit knife hidden there. Just then, the bedroom door opened. Ethan walked in, wearing an apron and holding a spatula. "Oh, you're awake," he said cheerfully. "Perfect timing. I was just making some food. Want to eat together?" The menacing aura around Lily vanished instantly. She stood meekly by the bed, her hands behind her back, her head down, stealing glances at him like a child caught doing something wrong. "What's wrong, Lily? Are you not feeling well?" Ethan asked, walking toward her with concern. No, I'm fine. I just woke up," she said, waving her hands frantically to stop him from getting too close and discovering her secret. But in her haste, she forgot she was still holding the fruit knife. The scene transformed into Lily brandishing a knife at Ethan while desperately waving her arms. "Where did that knife come from?" Ethan asked calmly. "It was on my waist," she mumbled. "I thought I felt something. Ahem. Do you have any other contraband on you?" "Nope, no more." Lily shook her head vigorously. "Good. Now, hand it over. I'll keep it safe." He held out his hand. Lily dutifully offered him the knife, handle first. "Don't carry dangerous things like this around. You hear?" he said, tapping her lightly on the forehead. "I know. All right, come on out and eat. Let's see what you think of my cooking." "Ethan, you can cook?" "There's a lot you don't know about me," he grinned. "Now go wash your hands." Okay. Before his transmigration, Ethan had worked part-time at a restaurant, and a friendly chef had taught him a few things. His cooking wasn't gourmet, but it was far from bad. While Lily slept, he found some simple ingredients in the fridge and whipped up some tomato and scrambled eggs and a vegetable soup. After stashing the fruit knife with the hatchet, Ethan sat down at the dining table, already thinking about his plan. Okay, 2 main objectives. First, cure Lily's Yandere tendencies. Second, deal with the situation at school. Guess who? A pair of hands covered his eyes, bringing with them a sweet strawberry scent. "It's definitely the girl I like," he said with a smile. "And who might that be?" "Her name is Lily Foster." Ethan took her hands in his and smiled up at her. Ethan, Lily's eyes were practically sparkling with love. If this were an anime, they'd be heart-shaped. Ahem. All right. Let's eat before the food gets cold. Ethan sensed the mood was getting a little too intense. If this kept up, Lily might decide to have him for dinner instead. "Okay, I want to sit next to you." Lily pulled her chair right up against his and scooped some eggs into his bowl. "You eat first, Ethan. You worked hard." "Thanks, Lily." Seeing her expectant face, he returned the favor and put some vegetables in her bowl. "There. Now you're satisfied, right?" Ethan's the best. They quickly finished their meal. Lily insisted on washing the dishes, and Ethan let her. As he headed back to his room, Lily's gaze fell on the fork he'd just used, a sly glint in her eyes. "The appetizer is done," she whispered to herself. "Now for the main course." The sun set, and the sky began to darken. Ethan played a few rounds of a game on his phone in the bedroom, staring at the defeat screen. "Ugh, this is so boring," he sighed, tossing the phone aside and flopping onto the bed. A faint strawberry scent still lingered in the air. It's been over 10 minutes. Is Lily still washing that one fork? Did something happen? Just as the thought crossed his mind, Lily walked in, a look of pure satisfaction on her face. "Lily, what took you so long to wash one dish?" "I was afraid it wasn't clean, so I washed it a few extra times," she said sweetly. "See? What a gentle, considerate girl," Ethan thought. "She'd be perfect if she didn't have a knife collection." "Ethan, what's up? Tonight, can I—" Lily's pocket began to vibrate. She stopped talking, her body stiffening as she pulled out her phone. Her eyes went wide and vacant as she stared at the screen. "What's wrong, Lily? Is everything okay?" Noticing her strange reaction, Ethan went over to her. It's nothing." Lily flinched as he got closer and frantically hung up the call. "Ethan, I have to go. Your family's calling you home." "Yeah." Ethan glanced outside. The sky was nearly black. It made sense that her family would be worried. It was strange, though. For all the time the original Ethan had known her, he had no memories of her family or where she lived. "Well, Ethan, I'll see you then." Lily gave him one last, reluctant look before turning to leave. "Wait." Ethan grabbed her arm and snatched his jacket off a chair. "It's dark out. It's not safe. I'll walk you down." Okay. They rode the elevator down to the ground floor in silence. By the way, Lily, how did you know where I lived? He asked as they stepped outside. Lily didn't answer, just kept her head down and walked forward. Seeing how troubled she looked, Ethan gently squeezed her hand. Lily, if something is wrong, you have to tell me, okay? Ethan. She gripped his hand tightly, as if afraid he would disappear. Please don't ever leave me, okay? You're all I have. Looking at the terrified girl before him, Ethan pulled her into a hug, gently patting her back. How could I ever leave you? I'll always be with you, Lily. He took off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. It's getting cold. Don't catch a chill. Ethan, you've changed so much, she said, looking up at him. Crap. Did she figure it out? A cold sweat broke out on Ethan's forehead. If she knew he wasn't the original Ethan, she probably. But I like it a lot, she whispered, burying her face in his chest again. Her small hands wrapped tightly around his waist, as if she wanted to merge with him completely. Her phone vibrated again. Ethan could feel her body tremble. Ethan, I really have to go. This is far enough, she said, pulling away from his embrace. Before he could say anything, she turned and ran, disappearing into the night with his jacket. When Ethan tried to follow, she was already gone. Something feels really off, he thought. Maybe next time I should try and see her home. He pulled out his phone, intending to send her a message. When he opened his contacts, he saw only 3 names, Dad, Mom, and one other, Devil. Without a word, he silently edited the contact, changing Devil to Angel, then sent a message. Angel, when you get home, text me so I know you're safe. I'll worry otherwise. All right, time to head back. He bought some frozen dumplings from a corner store on his way home. After a shower, he finally got a reply from Lily. Angel, I'm home, Ethan. Wavy dash. Don't worry about me. I'll come find you after school tomorrow, okay? Good night, Ethan. Seeing her message, he finally relaxed and sent back a good night. He'd been through a lot since transmigrating. He was exhausted and ready for some sleep. Lily put her phone in her bag, the smile on her face vanishing. With a creak, the apartment door opened. A beer bottle flew past her head, shattering on the floor. It's this late, and you're just getting back? I called you twice, and you hung up. You got a lot of nerve, don't you? A gruff voice boomed. A large, pot-bellied man was sprawled on the couch, glaring at her. I'm sorry. Go do the damn dishes, he snarled. The room reeked of stale alcohol and sweat. Lily retreated to her own room and carefully folded Ethan's jacket, placing it beside her pillow. Wait here for me, okay? I'll be right back, she whispered to the jacket, as if it were Ethan himself. She went to the kitchen and turned on the faucet. The pipes groaned for a few seconds before water sputtered out. Just as she was putting the last plate away, the man's voice called from the living room. Why were you so late? There was something I had to do at school, so. Smack. He slapped her hard across the face. You were secretly meeting that boy, weren't you? Hearing those words, Lily's body went rigid. Her previously vacant eyes flashed with a vicious light. What are you going to do? Don't you give me that look, he sneered. Be careful, or I might make it so you never see him again. Don't forget, my buddies know who he is, too. Don't. Lily's defiance crumbled instantly, her voice filled with terror. Then you'll come to my bedroom later. My dagger hasn't seen blood in a while. Lily walked out of the kitchen. The man was gone. He was waiting for her in his room. She went to her own bedroom first and took off her school uniform. Moonlight streamed through the window, illuminating her slender body. If you looked closely, you could see her back was a canvas of scars, angry red lines that marred the otherwise flawless art piece. Each scar was a testament to the brutal treatment she endured. She opened her closet, pulled out a plain white long-sleeve shirt, and put it on. Inside the closet were dozens of identical white shirts. Then, she left her room. Slice. The dagger traced a line down her back, slowly, then deeper. Ha ha, that's the stuff, the man cackled, a crazed look on his face. He carved several more lines into her back before tossing the dagger aside. I have to say, you're the most durable one yet. The other tools, I had barely lasted a month before I had to get rid of them. With that, he grabbed a bottle of liquor and left the apartment, probably to go drinking with his degenerate friends. Due to some sick fetish, his cruelty was limited to carving, and he never did anything else to her. Curled in a corner, Lily weakly opened her eyes. The red shirt on her back was a sticky mess of sweat and blood. Fighting through the intense pain, she shakily got to her feet and stumbled back to her room. She locked the door and took out a first aid kit from under her bed. Unscrewing a bottle of alcohol, she poured it directly onto her back. The agony that shot through her body was something she was long accustomed to. She didn't even flinch. Lying face down on her bed, she couldn't help but think about the day's events. She had thought today would be the end of her world, but instead, it was a new beginning. She hugged Ethan's jacket tightly and finally drifted into a fitful sleep. I could have endured the darkness if I had never seen the sun. An alarm clock blared, waking Ethan. He sat up groggily and yawned. I finally escaped college, and now I have to do it all over again. I don't know if I should be happy or depressed. After a quick breakfast, he headed out the door. The moment he opened it, he saw Lily standing there in her school uniform, holding a bag of steamed buns. Speaking of uniforms, Northridge universities were quite stylish. The boys wore a button-down shirt with a school-crested jacket and comfortable slacks. The girls had the same top, but could choose between slacks or a pleated skirt that came with built-in safety shorts. Today, Lily was wearing the skirt, radiating a bright, youthful energy. When she saw Ethan, her eyes lit up. She hurried over and held out the bag of breakfast, a hint of worry in her voice. "Good morning, Ethan. I brought you breakfast. Do you want some?" She was afraid he'd reverted to his old self, so she didn't dare meet his eyes. Seeing her hair messed up by the wind, Ethan felt a pang in his chest. In his past life, the only people who had ever cared for him like this were his parents. He took the breakfast from her and gently smoothed her hair. "You've been waiting long, haven't you? Look, your hair is all windswept." No, I just got here," she said quickly. Seeing Ethan's gentle gesture, her previous worries vanished, and a honey-sweet feeling spread through her heart. "Ethan, hurry up and eat." Okay. Ethan took a small steamed bun from a bag and popped it in his mouth. Even though he'd already eaten and was full, he couldn't resist her expectant gaze and forced it down. "Have you eaten yet, Lily?" "I already ate. Don't worry about me." She waved her hands, but her eyes darted away from his. This girl is a terrible liar, he thought with a smile. He picked up another bun and held it to her lips. "Open up." "Ethan, I don't want MMPH." He stuffed the bun into her mouth. Seeing her cheeks puffed out like a little hamster, Ethan felt a strange new affection awaken in him. He proceeded to feed her the rest of the buns, one by one. "You're terrible, Ethan," she mumbled after swallowing the last bite, giving him a mock glare. "Well, you lied to me first. This is your punishment," he said with a triumphant grin. Suddenly, quicker than he could react, Lily grabbed the hand he'd used to feed her and playfully bit his finger. "Thanks for the treat," she said with a wink and a smile. Then she turned and skipped off toward school, leaving a stunned Ethan behind. First encounter, Lily wins by a landslide. They arrived at school. Since they were in different classes, Lily clung to the corner of his shirt, reluctant to let go. "Ethan, can I come find you after school?" "Of course. I'll be waiting for you." "Okay, it's a promise." Hearing his agreement, Lily happily went on her way. Ethan found his classroom, junior year class 3, and went inside. Since it was still early, only a few people were there. He scanned their faces from his memory. They were all people the original Ethan barely knew. He made his way to his usual seat. As the saying goes, back row, by the window, the king's domain. Just as he sat down, a guy walked up to him. "Ethan, did you really confess to Isabella yesterday?" "Yeah, something like that happened," Ethan admitted. "Better to be upfront than to try and hide it." "Hey, don't worry about it." The guy clapped him on the shoulder. "Tons of guys have asked Isabella out, and she's rejected most of them. Don't give up on the whole forest for one tree, man." "I wasn't thinking about Isabella." "Then what were you thinking about?" "I was thinking about what your name is." The guy stared at him for a second, then quickly took a step back, clutching his chest protectively. "Ethan, man, we can't. I mean, we shouldn't. I thought we were just classmates, but you actually want to—" Ethan's face darkened. I can't remember your name." "Stop letting your imagination run wild." "Oh, is that it?" The guy looked disappointed. "No, wait, relieved." "Seriously? We've been in the same class for 3 years, and you don't know the great Leo King? I'm a legend at this university. A true player who walks through a field of flowers without picking a single one." Leo finished his speech by striking a dramatic pose. Seeing Ethan's deadpan expression, Leo couldn't take it anymore and punched him playfully on the shoulder. "You punk, are you secretly laughing at me?" No, I think you're a pretty cool guy," Ethan said, rubbing his shoulder. "But seriously, could you not hit so hard? That felt like attempted murder." "Haha, sorry about that. Tell you what, let's be sworn brothers. From now on, you, Ethan White, are my brother, Leo King's brother." "Sure. Then I'll be counting on you to look out for me, Leo," Ethan said. Leo's personality was amusing. Making a friend like him seemed like a good idea. Leo puffed out his chest. "Don't worry, Ethan, you can count on me." Well, if it isn't our class's resident emo, Ethan White." A sharp, grating voice came from the doorway. A girl walked in. It was Isabella. She had a certain kind of prettiness, though you could tell she was wearing a bit of makeup. Compared to Lily's pure, innocent beauty. Isabella's was more sultry and deliberate. Ethan vaguely remembered that the original Ethan had fallen for her during freshman year when she was campaigning for class president. She had tied with another candidate, and Ethan's was the last deciding vote. The next day, Isabella had approached him, and within a day, she'd secured his vote and the position. The original Ethan had foolishly thought she was interested in him and had been crushing on her for 3 years. Isabella, there's no need to be so harsh. Live and let live, you know. Isabella shot Leo a look and continued. I'm just speaking the truth. I wonder who it was that called me to the rooftop yesterday and spewed a bunch of cheesy, greasy lines. It was honestly disgusting. Isabella, you've gone too far, Leo said, pointing a finger at her. Oh, was I wrong? Ethan put a hand on Leo's arm, stopping him from charging forward. Damn, a true brother. He really was about to fight for me. It's okay, Leo, Ethan said calmly. If a dog barks at you, you don't bark back, right? It's not worth it. Oh yeah, Ethan, you're right. You think things through. Leo smoothed down his rolled-up sleeves. Who are you two calling a dog? Isabella shrieked. Whoever answers the question, Ethan said with a shrug. The rest of the class had started to file in, and they all started laughing at the exchange. Hey, what's the tea? I just got here. Fill me in. One student whispered to another. Looks like Ethan doesn't actually like Isabella. Maybe there's more to yesterday's story, a third student mused. I don't know. You don't know? Well then, ahem, the teacher's here. Shut up, another student said, nudging their friend. A middle-aged man with glasses walked in, wearing a plaid shirt and leather boots. A jangling ring of keys hung from a belt at his waist. He was the picture of a classic, dependable teacher. What's all this noise? This is the loudest classroom on the whole floor, he boomed, and the class instantly fell silent. This is your junior year. Graduation is just a few months away. Do you people look like you're heading for graduation? Isabella, you're the class president. Not only are you not getting the class settled for morning study, but you're here making a scene. What kind of example is that? When you're out in the world, don't you dare say you were my student. It's embarrassing. The man was Mr. Davis, the homeroom teacher for class 3. The students secretly called him Old Man Davis. He was usually easygoing, but when angered, he was like an erupting volcano. Mr. Davis had taught his entire life, and this class was his last before retirement. He had high hopes for this final batch of students. What teacher doesn't want to see their students succeed? I'm sorry, Mr. Davis. I'll get everyone started on their reading right now, Isabella said, shooting a humiliated and furious glare at Ethan and Leo before organizing the class. Ethan White, come my office, Mr. Davis said, adjusting his glasses. The rest of you, get to work. Ethan left the classroom, followed by Leo's gleeful, schadenfreude-filled expression. Arriving at the office, Ethan knocked twice. Mr. Davis's voice came from inside. Come in. Ethan opened the door to see a stern-faced Mr. Davis sitting at his desk, grading papers. Sensing the tense atmosphere, Ethan went to the water cooler, filled a paper cup with hot water, and placed it on the teacher's desk. Mr. Davis, here's some water. Seeing Ethan's solicitous gesture, Mr. Davis, a veteran teacher of several decades, couldn't help but crack a smile. Ethan White, in all my years of teaching, you're the first student who's been able to act so casually when I'm wearing my serious face. Maybe I'm just more mature for my age, Ethan said with a grin. He was, after all, a college student in his previous life. His mind was mature, even if his body wasn't. Do you know why I called you in here? Mr. Davis took a sip of the water. A little hot. It's probably about me confessing to Isabella on the rooftop yesterday. That's right. Setting aside whether you should have confessed at all, graduation, a major turning point in your life, is just a few months away. Yet you're focusing your energy on romance. Yesterday's test scores also came out. Your grades used to be decent, middle of the pack. Don't let these things distract you. At this age, your studies should be your priority. No wonder so many students liked Mr. Davis. He genuinely cared about them. Who wouldn't respect a teacher like that? Don't worry, Mr. Davis, Ethan said sincerely. What's past is past. I'll get my head on straight. Good, that's good to hear. But I have to say, Ethan, you've changed a lot after this incident. You used to be so timid when you talked to me. It's like you're a completely different person. Well, you know what they say, Mr. Davis. You have to keep moving forward. All that negative energy I had built up is gone. It's a fresh start now. You're a real smooth talker, you know that? All right, I need to get back to my grading. You should go prepare for class. Mr. Davis dismissed him. You got it. You take care of yourself, Mr. Davis. I'm heading out. Hey, wait a minute. Is there something else, sir? If anyone at school gives you a hard time about yesterday, you come and tell me. I know what my students are really like. Mr. Davis, Ethan was genuinely touched. He never expected his teacher to say something like that. All right, get out of here. You're keeping me from my papers. Ethan closed the office door and headed back to class. Mister. Davis picked up the cup of water, drained it in one gulp, and went back to his grading. The bell rang, signaling the end of morning classes. Ethan, what did old man Davis want in his office? Leo asked, running over to Ethan's desk as soon as class was over. Nothing much. Just said my grades were slipping and told me not to get distracted. Ethan stretched. After being out of college for 2 years, going through it again was a strange feeling. Oh, is that all? Well, want to go grab some lunch? Sure. As he said that, Ethan thought of Lily. He wondered if she'd eaten yet. Maybe he should ask her to join them. If he remembered correctly, she was in class 5. Hang on, Leo. I need to go find someone in class 5 first, Ethan said. Class 5? You know someone in class 5? How come I've never seen you talk to anyone from there? Perhaps to avoid drawing attention to Ethan. Lily had always kept her distance at school. She would watch him from hidden corners. Only approaching him after school was over. Do you know Lily Foster? What? Ethan, you gotta be kidding me. Do you have any idea who Lily Foster is? She's the belle of class 5, one of the top-ranked campus beauties. They call her the Ice Beauty. Countless guys have tried to talk to her, and she ignores every single one of them. She's like a goddess, meant to be admired from afar, not touched. Did you get kicked in the head by a donkey or something? You think you can just go ask her out? Leo poked Ethan's head. What if I can get her to come out? Impossible. If you can get the goddess Lily to come out, I will call you Dad on the spot. Leo's grin was so wide, it looked like a brand logo. You said it. Don't go back on your word. Ethan chuckled and started walking with Leo toward class 5. He didn't notice a girl following them from a distance. It was Isabella. Humph. Isabella must have really gotten to him yesterday. He's clearly losing his mind, she thought. How about to see this? What clown? Even Isabella had to admit that Lily was beautiful. Her own carefully applied makeup couldn't hold a candle to Lily's natural looks. She had always been jealous of her. A few moments later, Ethan and Leo arrived at the door of junior year, class 5. Ethan spotted a girl outside, doing a cleaning chore. Excuse me, are you in class 5? Yeah, what do you want? The girl replied impatiently, turning around. When she saw it was a handsome guy, her tone changed instantly. Can I help you? Could you do me a favor and get someone for me? Her name is Lily Foster. Ugh, her again. The girl sighed in disappointment, then gave Ethan a pitying look. She'd lost count of how many guys had come looking for Lily, only to be ignored like they were invisible. I can, but I can't guarantee she'll come out. Ah, that's okay. Just tell her. The soup dumplings were delicious. Okay. The girl scratched her head and went back in the classroom. The soup dumplings were delicious? Is that some new code phrase? Lily was at her desk, her head down, seemingly asleep. If you listened closely, you could hear her taking deep breaths, as if she were smelling something. The girl walked over and tapped her on the shoulder. Lily, sorry to bother you. Lily's body twitched, and she looked up with an icy expression. Zoe, what is it? There's a guy outside looking for you. Please tell him I'm busy, and that I'll be busy from now on. Oh, okay. He also said something about the soup dumplings were delicious. I have no idea what that means. Do you, Lily? Before Zoe could finish her sentence, Lily had already shot past her and out of the classroom. So, Ethan, you gonna make a move, or what? Leo patted his shoulder. I'm telling you, a simple life is the best life. We should just go. Leo's words caught in his throat. He saw Lily run out of the classroom in a panic, holding a jacket. She scanned the hallway. Her face lit up when she saw Ethan, and she rushed over to him. What the? The Ice Beauty smiled at Ethan. Am I dreaming? Leo rubbed his eyes, unable to believe what he was seeing. Hiding in the distance, Isabella was also dumbfounded. How could Lily Foster possibly smile at Ethan White? Lily handed the jacket to Ethan. Ethan, what are you doing here? Did you come for your jacket? I'm sorry, I put it in my bag this morning and forgot to give back. It's not about that, Ethan said, taking the jacket. I just wanted to see if you wanted to get some lunch together. Together? Lunch? With me? Lily blinked, then pointed at her own face as if in disbelief. Yeah, but Ethan, you always said we shouldn't interact at school. That was then, this is now. Unless you don't want to have lunch with me. I do, Lily answered immediately. Well then, I thank the great campus beauty for gracing me with her presence. Ethan turned to the petrified Leo and clapped him on the shoulder. Let's go, my son. Time for lunch. What do you want to eat later, Lily? Anything's fine with me. I'll have whatever you're having, Ethan. It wasn't until he saw the two of them walking away that Leo finally snapped out of it and chased after them. Hey, Ethan, wait for me. As Leo ran off, a crowd of stunned onlookers and a bewildered Isabella were left behind. The three of them got their food and found a table. Lily sat next to Ethan, while Leo sat alone across from them. Lily, this is Leo, a classmate of mine, Ethan said, gesturing to the guy across the table. Hello, Leo, Lily said with a brief nod, then immediately started piling food onto Ethan's plate. Ethan, you should eat more. Hello, campus beauty Lily, Leo managed. Watching the lovey-dovey pair, he instantly felt like a third wheel. He could only lower his head and channel his frustration into his food, eating furiously. I'm full. I'm leaving, Leo announced suddenly. He didn't know why, but his back felt cold, and he had a feeling the discomfort was coming from Lily. He finished his meal in record time and fled the cafeteria. Lily, stop giving me food. I'm seriously full, Ethan said, rubbing his stomach. Oh, okay. Lily looked disappointed for a moment, then picked up Ethan's bowl. We can't waste food. I'll take care of what you have left, Ethan. What a considerate, frugal girl, Ethan thought to himself. After they finished eating, Ethan walked Lily to her classroom door. Should I come find you after school tonight? He asked. I'm sorry, Ethan. I have a part-time job tonight, so I can't walk home with you. A part-time job? I see. After saying goodbye to Lily, Ethan racked his brain, trying to find any memories about her having a job, but came up empty. Well, that makes sense. The original Ethan didn't even like her. Why would he have paid attention to her life? Does Lily's family have financial problems? I can't help but worry about it. Hey, Ethan White. A voice called out from behind him. He turned to see it was Isabella. Isabella? What do you want? Ethan looked at her, his expression flat. What's your relationship with Lily Foster? None of your business. You, Ethan White. How can you talk to me like that? Should I be polite to you? Ethan's gaze was sharp. Look, I was an idiot to have confessed to you. My head was kicked by a donkey. But don't worry, I'm cured now. And for the record, the person I like is Lily Foster. I hope you won't get any funny ideas. You think I won't tell Mr. Davis about this? The school doesn't allow dating. You better watch out, Isabella threatened. She couldn't understand what Lily saw in this guy. Seeing them together just made her furious. Whatever. You're crazy, Ethan muttered, walking away. He had no idea what Isabella's problem was, suddenly confronting him like this. Ethan White, you get back here. Isabella stomped her foot in frustration as she watched him leave. As soon as Ethan got back to the classroom, he saw Leo looking at him like a wronged puppy. Ethan, our love is dead. Get lost. Don't be gross. Oh, I see how it is. Got a girlfriend and forgot all about your brother. What can I say? My Lily is just that beautiful. Ack, you animal. Leo clutched his chest, pretending to cough up blood before returning to normal. But seriously, this is going to cause an even bigger stir than the thing with Isabella. Lily's a campus beauty, after all. You might have more trouble coming your way. Doesn't matter. Nothing can separate me and Lily, Ethan said with determination. So you're actually a good man, huh? A familiar voice came from behind them. They turned to see it was Mr. Davis, who had apparently heard their entire conversation. Ethan, Leo, Ethan White, my office. Again, Mr. Davis dropped the line and walked away. Mr. Davis, have some water. Water my foot. Did you just completely ignore everything I said to you earlier? Seeing Mr. Davis in a full-blown rage, Ethan knew he was genuinely angry this time. Mr. Davis, please calm down. I know you're just looking out for me. I promise this won't affect my studies. Fine. Mr. Davis pulled a stack of papers from his drawer. These are the new test papers for every subject this week. If you can score above passing on all of them, I won't say another word. And so, Ethan spent his entire lunch break in Mr. Davis's office, holding Ethan's papers, all with scores well above the 60% pass mark. Mr. Davis was stunned. You kid, you've been hiding your true abilities all this time. Yeah, so Mr. Davis, you don't have to worry about my grades now, right? If you score lower than this on any future exam, you just see if I don't tan your hide. Mr. Davis didn't understand why Ethan would hide his talent. Was there some reason for it? Ethan, why didn't you use your real abilities on your exams before? You know me, Mr. Davis, I'm a low-key kind of guy. All right, if you don't want to say, I won't force you, Mr. Davis interrupted, causing trouble for me 2 days in a row. Very low-key indeed. Ethan, and another thing, are you really dating Lily Foster from Class 5? Hee. That seems to be the situation. You know you're about to graduate. You should know what's appropriate and what isn't. I don't need to tell you. Don't worry, Mr. Davis. I know my limits. Also, Lily's grades have always been at the top of the school. If I hear from her homeroom teacher that her performance has dropped because of you, I'll hold you personally responsible. Yes, sir, Ethan said, snapping to attention. Mr. Davis, you've asked me so many questions. Can I ask you one thing? What is it? Do you have the student admission records? I have them. I was in charge of admissions that year. Why? I want to see Lily's information. Don't worry, Mr. Davis. I swear I won't do anything bad. Ethan added the promise quickly, anticipating his teacher's suspicion. Ethan White, are you some kind of stalker? Come on, Mr. Davis. I just want to see your family situation. Family situation? All right, the files are in a folder on my computer. You can look for it yourself. I have to get to class. Find what you need and get back to your classroom. With that, Mr. Davis drank the water on his desk and left the office. Ethan immediately went to the computer and found the admissions file. He searched for Lily's name and found her entry. Lily Foster, female, 19, height 5 feet 4 inches. No, that's not what I'm looking for. His eyes scanned the entry for the information he needed. Found it. Under the family situation section, it read, single-parent household. Financial situation, average. Something's wrong. Ethan clearly remembered Lily saying she had to work a part-time job every night. If her family's financial situation was average, why would she need to? It didn't add up. The school bell rang, signaling the start of the next class. Ethan closed the file on the computer and walked back to his classroom, his mind heavy with unanswered questions. As afternoon classes ended and students headed out for dinner or a break, Leo slung an arm around Ethan's shoulder. Hey, Ethan, want to go hang out somewhere? I can't. I'm going to ask Mr. Davis for a leave of absence for tonight. Leave? Are you not feeling well? Yeah, my head's a little dizzy. Oh, okay. Well, be careful on your way home. Call me if you need anything. Leo took Ethan's phone and saved his own number in it. Thanks, Leo. Ethan then went to Mr. Davis's office. Mr. Davis, I'd like to request leave for tonight. I won't be attending the evening self-study session. Fine. To Ethan's surprise, Mr. Davis agreed immediately without even asking why. Seemingly reading Ethan's mind, the teacher added, I don't care what you do, as long as it doesn't affect your studies and isn't illegal. But don't make a habit of it. I'll have a hard time explaining it to the administration if they ask. Ethan nodded. Thanks, Mr. Davis. Drink more water. He filled another cup for his teacher before leaving the office. Mr. Davis looked at the cup with a frown. This damn kid. He's making me run to the bathroom 10 times a day. He then drained the cup in one go. As Ethan stepped into the hallway, he saw Lily standing outside his classroom, peering in. A few boys had stopped nearby, pretending not to watch her. Ethan cleared his throat and, changing his voice, walked up behind her. Excuse me, miss, are you looking for someone? Perhaps I can help you. Sensing someone approaching, Lily instinctively leaned forward, creating distance, while her hand slid into her coat pocket, gripping something tightly. A nearby student, seeing this, thought his moment had arrived. A chance to be a hero. Maybe the campus beauty will fall for me. In that instant, he'd already imagined what he'd name their children. He rolled up his sleeves, ready to save her, but a hand stopped him. What are you doing? The boy asked angrily. Friend, I'd advise you not to make a fool of yourself, said Leo, who had blocked his path. They're a couple having a little fun. You really want to get in the middle of that? A couple? No way. The ice beauty never gets close to any guy. This is clearly harassment. The boy didn't believe a word of it. Well, I'm not going to stop you then. I tried to warn you, Leo said, dropping his hand with a shrug. Oomph. The boy shot Leo a disdainful look and strode forward, ready to subdue Ethan. Just as Lily was about to pull a small craft knife from her pocket, she saw that the person behind her was Ethan. Ethan! She pulled her hand out of her pocket and threw herself at him. Feeling a bit guilty for scaring her, Ethan caught her in a hug and gently patted her back. I'm sorry, Lily. Did I scare you? The girl in his arms nodded, her hands gripping the back of his shirt tightly. The would-be hero froze mid-stride. The goddess of his dreams was in another man's arms. He stood there, stunned, before turning and walking away, a lonely, dejected figure disappearing into the crowd. At that moment, his spirit was broken. Feeling a damp spot growing on his chest, Ethan panicked. I'm sorry, Lily. It was my fault. Please don't cry, okay? Then can you promise me one thing? Lily looked up at him, her eyes teary and her voice full of grievance. I promise. I'll promise you anything. Lily pulled away from his embrace, her eyes lingering on his chest for a moment. Then, her demeanor shifted instantly from pitiful to mischievous. You said it, Ethan. No takebacks, she said with a triumphant grin. Ethan let out a sigh of relief and gently pinched her smooth cheek. You tricked me, Lily. Well, you scared me first, she retorted, though her heart was secretly enjoying his touch. If they weren't at school with so many people watching, she probably would have. The surrounding crowd of students was a mix of envy, heartbreak, and giddy excitement. Ah, my goddess, one male student cried, clutching his heart as if his world had ended. Ah, they're so cute together, a female student gushed to her best friend. One person's joy is another's sorrow. Such is life. Ethan had wanted to invite Leo to dinner, but after agreeing, Leo suddenly looked terrified and said he had something to do before running off. Ethan was baffled, but it worked out. Now he and Lily could have their own private time. After they'd both left, Leo poked his head out from around a corner, looking fearfully at Lily's retreating figure. I knew I had a bad feeling before, so she was the source of it. He recalled the moment just now when Lily, while looking cute and innocent to Ethan, had shot him a look that was pure, murderous possessiveness. It had scared him so much he'd made an excuse and bolted. With that level of possessiveness, Ethan's never going to escape her clutches, Leo muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. Mom was right. The pretty ones are always dangerous. After dinner, Lily held Ethan's hand as they took a walk around campus. Lily, Ethan said, stopping and giving her hand a squeeze. Why do you have to work a part-time job? Lily was surprised by the question. Because I'm from a single-parent family. I want to help ease the burden at home. I'm sorry, I didn't know, Ethan said, feigning surprise. Lily leaned in close, standing on her tiptoes to whisper in his ear. It's okay, Ethan. It means you care about me. That makes me happier than anything. Ethan, she said, wrapping her arms around his shoulders. Hold me tight. What red-blooded young man could resist such a test? Ethan looked at the girl who seemed to want to melt into him and wrapped his arms around her fiercely. Lily cried out, her body suddenly going limp. Lily, what's wrong? Ethan quickly supported her as she started to fall. Feeling a sharp pain shoot through her back, Lily forced a smile. I'm fine, Ethan. I just stood on my toes for too long and my foot slipped. Oh, I see. As long as you're okay. A bell rang, signaling that there were 15 minutes until evening classes started. Oh, evening study is about to start. I have to go, Ethan. See you tomorrow, Lily said hurriedly and ran off. Ethan's brow furrowed. A strange sense of crisis washed over him, making his heart race. He had to find out what was going on with Lily. It felt like she was being trapped by something. He looked up at the blood-red sunset, a dark premonition of the night to come. His phone vibrated. It was a text from Lily. Lily, Ethan, I didn't mean to run off like that. I just wasn't feeling well. I'm much better now. Please don't be mad at me, okay? Equal to succeeds, equal to precedes. He quickly replied. Ethan, how could I be mad at you? I'm just glad you're feeling better. Less than a minute later, a reply came. Lily, thank you, Ethan. I'm in class now. You should get back to your classroom too. Okay? Ethan, okay. He glanced back at the school building one last time before walking away. In a girl's bathroom stall, Lily had taken off her shirt. Her torso was wrapped in bandages, and blood had already started to seep through from the wounds on her back. She dug her nails into her thighs, tears streaming down her face. Why? Why couldn't I stand the pain? I could have gotten more of Ethan's, more of his affection. Pain was something the girl was used to. But why, in front of the person she loved most, was it so unbearable? Ethan, my Ethan, I see the mountains and trees as mere scenery, but when I see you, you are the green mountain itself. The second bell rang, signaling the start of evening self-study. It was getting late. After getting home, Ethan took a quick shower, then changed into a black sweatsuit and pulled on a black baseball cap. He checked his reflection in the mirror. Okay, stealth level, max. He felt a little embarrassed about his plan for the night, to follow Lily. I just hope she doesn't spot me. He glanced at the time on his phone. It's about time to go and get into position. He'd forgotten one thing. Compared to him, Lily was the real expert at tailing people. The third bell rang, signaling the end of evening self-study. The quiet school instantly came alive. Wanna go grab some fried skewers? Yeah, let's go. I'll meet you on the field. Okay, can we hold hands this time? Hang on, I need to use the restroom. Leo packed his bag and left the classroom. As he walked into the hallway, a familiar chill ran down his spine. He slowly turned his head and saw a pair of pale blue eyes staring intently at him. Leo, thinking fast, immediately said, Hey, sis-in-law, are you looking for Ethan? He left a long time ago. Sis-in-law. Lily repeated the words stiffly. A blush crept up her face, and she blinked rapidly to hide her flustered state. I see. Thank you. She then turned and walked away quickly. Watching her retreating back, Leo let out a huge sigh of relief. It's good to be alive. Lily walked out of the school gates and checked her phone. No new messages from Ethan. She glanced at the time. Time to go to my job. She put her phone away and started walking, her mind preoccupied, not noticing the shadowy figure following her from a distance. After about 15 minutes, Ethan saw Lily stop in front of a convenience store and go inside. So Lily's part-time job is at a convenience store. I'll keep watching. Nothing unusual so far. Ethan stood in a dark alley where the streetlights couldn't reach, quietly observing the store. A small bell jingled as Lily entered the store. An elderly woman came out from behind the counter. Lily, you're here. Did you have a good day? The woman asked with a kind smile. Yes, I had a very good day at school. Thanks for asking, Mrs. Gable, Lily replied with a smile. Grandma, I'm going to go change now. The old woman nodded and went back to the counter to wait for the next customer. Mrs. Gable was very fond of Lily. 2 years ago, on a rainy night, Lily had taken shelter from a downpour under the store's awning. Mrs. Gable had seen the drenched girl and called her inside. Come in, dear. Look at you, you're soaked. But Grandma, I don't have any money to buy anything. Who said anything about money? Just get in here. And so Mrs. Gable had pulled Lily into the convenience store. This is our store uniform. Your clothes are soaked through, so you can wear this for now. She had handed Lily a uniform from the stockroom. Thank you, Grandma, Lily had said, her eyes stinging with tears. This was the second person in her life who had ever been kind to her. The first was Ethan. After changing, Lily had seen the rain was still pouring down, so she had started helping Mrs. Gable organize the shelves. The kind old woman had even heated up a bento box for her. The storm passed as quickly as it came. As Lily was about to leave, Mrs. Gable had stopped her. Lily, dear, if you have time, come visit your old grandma, okay? I'll even pay you. And from that day on, Lily had been working part-time at Mrs. Gable's store. Mrs. Gable smiled, remembering her first meeting with Lily. Grandma, I'm changed. Lily came out from the back room and began her familiar routine of stocking shelves. Lily, you watch the store for a bit. I need to get something from the stockroom. Okay, Grandma. In the back room, Mrs. Gable found Lily's school uniform in a changing basket. She picked it up and, turning it over, noticed a dark stain on the back. She brought the stain to her nose and smelled the faint, metallic scent of rust. It was dry blood. That animal. Mrs. Gable cursed, but the next moment, tears welled in her eyes. I'm so sorry, Lily. Your grandma is useless. After ringing up a customer, Lily gazed out the window at the moon. I wonder what Ethan is doing right now. Why hasn't he sent me a message? Was he angry about what happened this afternoon? No, I have to go see him after work. I can't stand being away from him. Just then, her phone vibrated. She pulled it out, her hopeful expression instantly crumbling. The screen showed a number with no contact name, but Lily knew exactly who it was. She answered the call. A man's voice came from the other end. Why aren't you back yet? My shift is almost over. Good. I bought a brand new knife today. I think you're really going to like it. The line went dead. Lily slowly lowered the phone. She opened her contacts and called the only name saved there. We're sorry. The number you have dialed has been turned off. The robotic voice from the phone was the final straw. Lily's legs gave out, and she collapsed to the floor. Ethan doesn't want me anymore. Ethan's eyes were starting to hurt from staring, but he was too far away to see what was happening inside the store. Damn, my phone's dead. He wanted to check the time, but was met with a black screen. I wonder how Lily's doing in there. Just then, the store door opened. First, Mrs. Gable came out, followed by Lily. Lily, here's your pay for today. You take care now. Grandma, this is $100 too much. Just take it. It's a little something extra from your old grandma. Seeing Mrs. Gable's stern expression, Lily finally accepted the money. She bowed deeply to the old woman. Thank you, Grandma. Watching Lily's retreating figure, Mrs. Gable whispered to herself, I'm so sorry, Lily. Just as the old woman was about to close up for the night, the bell jingled again. Sorry, customer, we're closed, she said without turning around. Hello, Grandma. I'm not here to buy anything, Ethan said, taking off his cap. Can I ask you a few questions? What do you want? The old woman asked, her eyes wary as she took in Ethan's all-black attire. Ma'am, please don't worry. I don't mean any harm. I just have a few questions, Ethan said, trying to sound as unthreatening as possible. What questions? The girl who was just working her shift. Do you know her? She's a classmate of mine. Ethan pulled out his student ID from his wallet and handed it to her. The old woman took it, her expression softening slightly as she confirmed his identity. I know her. What do you want to ask? Mrs. Gable, is Lily in some kind of trouble at home? I saw her working here and got worried. Mrs. Gable let out a long sigh, pulling Ethan over to a small plastic chair by the counter. Her eyes welled up. That child's life is so hard, she began, her voice trembling. She's been working here for almost 3 years. But last week, I accidentally saw her back when she was changing her clothes. She choked on a sob, her hand flying her mouth. It was covered in scars. Just awful bloody wounds. I don't know what that poor girl has been through. I asked her later if she had family, but she wouldn't tell me anything. I know she's being abused at home. I just know it. And I only found out last week. Ethan's head started buzzing. He thought back to that afternoon in the music room. It wasn't a slip. That cry of pain was real. I'm just an old woman, Mrs. Gable continued, wiping her eyes. No kids of my own, and my husband passed a long time ago. I was too scared to get involved. But my heart, it just aches for her. So every time she finishes a shift, I give her a little extra, trying to make up for my own cowardice. It was as if a dam had broken, and all her pent-up guilt and sorrow came pouring out. It's not your fault, Mrs. Gable, Ethan said, knowing her fear was justified. You're helping her in your own way. Your name is Ethan White, right, son? Mrs. Gable grabbed his shoulders, her grip surprisingly strong. Yes, ma'am. Please, she begged, her voice cracking. Please, you have to help Lily. A good girl like that doesn't deserve to suffer like this. She looked like she was about to fall to her knees. Ethan quickly steadied her. Mrs. Gable, don't worry, he said, his voice firm with a newfound resolve. I promise you, I'll save Lily. You get some rest. I'm going to find her now. After making sure the old woman was settled, Ethan burst out of the store and ran, a wild energy coursing through him. Lily, Lily, Lily. Memories of her, brief as they were, flooded his mind. But with the original Ethan's life now a part of him, those 2 days felt like a lifetime. Lily, just hold on. He sprinted down the path she would have taken, but there was no sign of her. A cold dread crept into his heart as he ran. Why hasn't she called the police? Is someone holding something over her? What could it be? Wait a minute. The one thing Lily cares about most is me. Lily Foster pulled a crumpled $50 bill from her pocket and handed it to the hulking man slouched on the sofa. This is what I made today. The man, Big Tony, snatched the bill and scowled. I thought you made 100. Why is there only 50? I kept the other 50 for breakfast tomorrow, Lily answered, her voice barely a whisper. You sure you didn't keep it for that little prince of yours? He sneered, his eyes glinting with malice. If you don't give me the rest of that cash, I think I'll pay him a little visit tomorrow. No, don't. Lily frantically dug the rest of the money out of her pocket. That's more like it, he grunted, a cruel smile spreading across his face. I knew my precious daughter would always respect her father. Still, I don't see what's so great about that kid. After the way he treated you, you're still hung up on him. At the mention of Ethan, something in Lily snapped. That's none of your business, she shot back, her voice laced with fury. In a flash, he was on her, one massive hand clamping around her throat, slamming her against the wall. You know, you're 19 now, he rasped, his foul breath washing over her. You've grown up to be quite the looker. Lily's eyes widened in terror. What are you trying to do? You know your old man doesn't have the equipment for that sort of thing anymore, he said with a sickening chuckle. But my friends do. With a face like yours, I'm sure you could make them very happy. And if they're happy, my gambling debts get wiped clean. I'm sure my obedient little girl would want to help her father out, wouldn't she? No, she whispered, the words catching her throat. Anything but that. She began to struggle, her hands beating weakly against his unmovable arm. What a shame, he said, releasing his grip. He started walking toward the door. I guess I'll have to make sure that boyfriend of yours disappears from this world tomorrow. Wait, Lily's voice stopped him. When he turned, her face was a mask of utter despair. I'll do it, she said, her voice dead. Just don't hurt him. Of course. Big Tony's face broke into a triumphant grin. He put on a disgusting show of concern. See, I'll take good care of you tonight. You just take a nice bath, put on a pretty dress. Call in sick to school tomorrow, and in the evening, you'll come with me. Who knows, you might even thank me for this one day. Ha ha. With a final, booming laugh, he walked out, slamming the door behind him. Why? Lily slid down the wall, collapsing onto the cold floor. She stared blankly at the ceiling, her eyes empty voids. Isabella was sitting alone at an outdoor table at the Rusty Anchor, moodily picking at a plate of barbecue ribs, when she saw a familiar, irritating figure sprinting down the street. Ethan White? What are you doing out here so late? She called out. Isabella. Ethan looked like he'd seen an angel. He ran right up to her table. Seeing him so close, Isabella panicked, thinking he was there for revenge. She scrambled behind her chair, her voice a high-pitched wail. Ethan, I know I hurt you the other day, okay? I was wrong. I'm sorry. Just please stay away from me. What are you talking about? I just need to borrow your phone. Huh? My phone? Yes, mine's dead. I need to call Mr. Davis. Oh, well, you should have just said so. Isabella reached into her bag, pulled out a pink smartphone, unlocked it, and handed it to him. Despite what had happened, she had only been trying to satisfy her own vanity. She'd never meant to cause Ethan real trouble. Ethan gave her a grateful look and quickly dialed. Isabella? Why are you calling so late? Mr. Davis, it's me. I have an emergency, Ethan said breathlessly. In his office, Mr. Davis, who had just taken a sip of water, nearly sprayed it all over his desk. He glanced at the caller ID, then listened again to the voice on the other end. Ethan White? Isabella? What are you two doing together this late at night? Mr. Davis's roar echoed through the phone. Isabella. Ethan. Mr. Davis, you've got it all wrong, Ethan said quickly. I couldn't find Lily Foster's home address in the student directory. I was hoping you could help me find it. Ethan, you're getting bolder by the day. What are you trying to do? Run a background check on your classmates. Please, Mr. Davis. It's an emergency. I have to talk to her. There was a long pause, then a sigh. Fine. I'll look for it. The line went dead, but not before Ethan heard the sound of furious typing. Isabella, is it okay if I wait here for a bit? Whatever. Thank you. Ethan sat heavily on the bench, panting for breath. Whatever happened next, he had to see Lily first. Isabella kept stealing glances at him, chewing on the straw of her milkshake. He's actually kind of handsome, she thought. I didn't realize he was so devoted to a girl. Wait, what am I even thinking? She slapped her own cheeks lightly, trying to compose herself, only to find Ethan looking right at her. Want some? Isabella offered him a skewer from her plate. But as she held it out, she saw his eyes fix on it with a strange expression. She looked down and realized she was holding a skewer of grilled kidneys. No, I'm good. Thanks. Mortified, Isabella mumbled an excuse about needing the restroom and fled. A moment later, her phone buzzed. Ethan snatched it up. Ethan, I found it in the scholarship awards list. Lily Foster's address is... Mr. Davis rattled off the street and apartment number. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Oh, and one more thing. If I don't show up for class tomorrow, please call the police. You brat, what are you? Beep, beep, beep. Ethan had already hung up. He opened the map app on Isabella's phone and quickly found the location. It wasn't far. He placed the phone on the counter, pulled a 20 from his wallet to cover Isabella's meal, and left it with the owner before sprinting out of the restaurant. When Isabella came back from the restroom, Ethan was gone. Weird. Where'd he go? The owner walked over and explained what had happened. Isabella stared down the empty street, a strange, hollow feeling in her chest. Did I just miss something important? 10 minutes later, Ethan stood before a rundown apartment building. This has to be it. He pulled out a steak knife he'd swiped from a table at the grill and stepped into the dark entryway. Suddenly, a man's pained cry echoed from a nearby alley. Ethan peered around the corner and saw a group of street thugs surrounding a man on the ground. Big Tony, a man with a jagged scar across his face, said, grinding his boot onto the man's hand. It's time to pay up what you owe. Please, sir, I don't have any money right now. Oh, then maybe you can leave an arm behind. Mercy, sir, mercy. Big Tony scrambled to his feet, a pathetic, fawning smile on his face as he approached the man he called Scar. Sir, I have a daughter. She's a real beauty. I'm sure she'll please you. He fumbled for his phone and showed Scar a picture of Lily. Scar took the phone, his tongue darting out to lick his lips. Not bad. A real prize. Since when did you have a daughter, Tony? I thought your equipment was out of commission. She's not mine, sir. I bought her from an orphanage a while back. Is she legal? Turned 18 a few months ago. Still a student. Don't you worry, sir. She's clean. Good. I'm hosting a little party at the club tomorrow night. You bring her over. Sir, what about my debt? Rook, clear it, Scar said to a man behind him. Yes, boss. The man, Rook, pulled out a slip of paper, an IOU, and handed it to Big Tony. The group then vanished down the other end of the alley. Thank you, sir. Take care, sir. Big Tony bowed and scraped, clutching the slip of paper joyfully. Ethan fought the overwhelming urge to rush in and beat him to a pulp. He slowly backed away, the horrifying truth of the situation crashing down on him. Hell is empty and all the devils are here. Big Tony spat a wad of blood onto the pavement. The encounter had soured his mood for drinking, so he turned and shuffled back toward his apartment. He was completely unaware that Ethan was shadowing him from the darkness. After returning to his apartment, Big Tony didn't lock the door, a mistake that gave Ethan his chance. Hearing a bedroom door slam shut inside, Ethan slipped silently through the opening, his only thought to find Lily and get her out. The living room was unlit. The damp, musty stench made his skin crawl. Suddenly, a massive hand clamped over his mouth, while another arm wrapped around his neck in a chokehold. You little punk, Big Tony's voice rasped from behind him. Thought I didn't see you? Your little tricks don't work on me. His grip tightened. Trying to be the hero? I was just wondering where I'd find my next toy, and here you are delivered right to my door. Don't worry. Uncle Tony will take good care of you. Ethan struggled, but his wiry frame was no match for the man's brute strength. Crushed by Big Tony's weight and starved of oxygen, his vision began to blur and fade to black. It was a blistering summer day. Monster, stay away from us. A young boy shoved a little girl to the ground. I'm not a monster, she cried, shaking her head frantically. I just want to play with you. Our eyes are black. Yours are blue. Another boy sneered, kicking her in the stomach. Get away from us. The girl curled into a ball, clutching her stomach and sobbing. Lily's not a monster, not a monster. The old director, Mrs. Wagner, strode over. She expertly pulled on a pair of gloves she kept in her pocket, lifted Lily by the collar, and addressed the boys. Didn't I tell you not to touch her? She's bad luck. You'll turn into a monster, too. She came over to us, Mrs. Wagner. One of the boys mumbled, looking at the ground. Fine, go on and play. With that, Mrs. Wagner dragged Lily to the back of the property and tossed her into an iron cage. This was Lily's special room. If I ever catch you bothering the other children again, you'll stay in here forever. The old director spat on the ground, looking at Lily with utter disgust. The sun beat down relentlessly. Lily lay limply in the cage, her clothes soaked with sweat. Suddenly, she heard footsteps from beyond the back fence. Mommy, this popsicle tastes yucky. Now, Ethan, we don't waste food. You're the one who asked me to buy it, so you have to finish it. A little boy, Ethan, turned his head away in a huff and saw Lily lying in the cage, gasping for air. An idea sparked in his mind. He threw the popsicle into her cage and ran off. The wave of cold emanating from the popsicle roused Lily from her delirium. She saw the treat on the ground, then looked at the boy running away. She stared at him, memorizing his face, his form, every detail. Mommy, I finished it. Ethan chirped, skipping happily. Good boy, Ethan. Now hurry up. We have to go register you at Northridge Elementary. As the two of them walked away, Lily whispered to herself, Ethan, Northridge Elementary. She picked up the popsicle from the dirt and quickly put it in her mouth. Tears streamed down her face. It was the first time in her memory anyone had ever shown her a single drop of warmth. A man walked into the orphanage. Director, do you have any children here you don't want? He asked bluntly. What did you just say? Mrs. Wagner stared at the rude man, offended. Every child in this home is wanted. If you have no other business here, sir, you can leave, or I'll call the police. I can give you money. The man pulled out a thick stack of cash and waved it in her face. From what I understand, the funding for this orphanage is meager. Wouldn't it be better to give me one unwanted child and improve life for the rest? I'm sorry, Mrs. Wagner was about to refuse, but then she remembered the blue-eyed monster in the backyard. Wait, there's one I don't want. But her eyes, they're blue. She looks like a freak. Blue eyes, the man said, intrigued. Take me to see her. They went to the backyard. Mrs. Wagner pointed disdainfully at the iron cage. There, that's the monster I was telling you about. Who ever heard of a person with blue eyes? The man's gaze on the small, huddled form of Lily was perverse. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'll take her. He handed the stack of cash to the director. Fine. Take her and go. And I never saw you here, Mrs. Wagner said, snatching the money and turning away to count it. Tonight, the little ones can have meat for dinner. They'll be so happy. The man unlocked the cage, a sickening smile on his face. Come on out. I'm going to take you to a much better place. Lily crawled out of the cage, dwarfed by the man's massive shadow. A better place? She asked, trembling. The look on his face filled her with a deep unease. Yes, I'm sure you're going to love it. That night, Lily experienced a cruelty beyond imagination. As the cold, sharp tip of a knife traced patterns on her skin, she felt for the first time that her very existence was a sin. Her tears had long since run dry, leaving only two dark, hollow tracks on her cheeks. Her breathing grew faint. Maybe dying here would be a release. But then an image flashed in her mind, the boy named Ethan. She'd never heard him speak, but his one small act was the only warmth she had ever known. No, I can't die. I need him. I want him. I want only him. He is the light in my heart, the only light that exists. When Lily awoke from her stupor, she saw the man on the sofa, drinking a beer. Oh, you're awake? Looks like you're a pretty sturdy toy. The last one didn't wake up until the next day. Do you like to drink? Lily asked, her eyes vacant. Yeah, the man replied. For some reason, her dead-eyed stare unnerved him. Impossible. I'm a grown man. Why would I be afraid of her? I can make money for you, she said, so you can buy more to drink. Oh yeah, the man said, surprised. Let's hear it. I can sell flowers outside to make you money. When I'm older, I could get a real job. Not bad. The man praised her. You're a much more motivated toy than the last one. But what's your goal in all this? I want to go to school, Lily said calmly. The man's face darkened instantly. No. What if you call the police? Are you trying to run away, you little toy? I won't call the police. You can tell everyone I'm from a single-parent home. I'll play along, as long as you let me go to school. I'll even pay for my own tuition and fees. Fine, the man grunted. He was tempted. After buying Lily, he didn't have much money left. But if I find out you're trying any funny business, I'll beat you to death. True to her word, Lily brought money home for him, and gradually, his guard came down. And so, Lily managed to stay in school, following Ethan all the way to their junior year of university. She had planned to endure, to slowly break free from Big Tony, and finally, to give herself, clean and whole, to Ethan. But today's events had shattered her world. After all the torment she had endured, after fighting so hard to reach 18, after finally winning the affection of the boy she loved. Crash! A loud thud echoed from outside the door. Lily snapped back to reality, her gaze fixed on the entrance. A chaotic, powerful urge compelled her to open the bedroom door. Ethan had no strength left, but his hands were still gripping Big Tony's shoulders in a desperate struggle. Am I going to die? I promised I would save Lily. I'm sorry, Lily. I broke my promise. Crack! The sound of a bottle shattering against bone rang through the room. Big Tony froze, stunned. He turned his head and saw Lily standing there, her face a dark, terrifying mask, her eyes boring into him with a chilling intensity. Before he could speak, she raised another beer bottle and smashed it directly into his face. Big Tony's hands fell away from Ethan's throat. Blood streamed down his face. His head swam, and his massive body crumpled to the floor. Gasp! Gasp! Ethan greedily sucked in air, the feeling of near death still racking his body. A moment later, a slender figure threw herself into his arms. Feeling Lily's body tremble, Ethan held her close. I'm sorry, Lily. I'm late. Lily just shook her head, looking up at him with eyes full of years of unspoken devotion. All the pain, all the suffering was finally released in this one moment. Her struggle hadn't been in vain. She had finally caught the light that gave her warmth. They held each other for a long moment before Ethan managed to tie up Big Tony and call the police with Lily's phone. What followed was a blur of flashing lights and uniforms. The police took Big Tony away, finding mountains of evidence of his abuse in the apartment. His bedroom, in particular, was so horrifying that even a veteran detective couldn't stop himself from hitting the man with his nightstick, cursing his entire family line. Perhaps it was the chaos, or perhaps it was the profound relief of being safe. Through it all, Lily kept her head buried in Ethan's chest, following him like a shadow wherever he went. Ethan, wanting to shield her from the things that had hurt her, led her out of the apartment. He wrapped his arms around her, gently stroking her hair. A police officer approached them. Excuse me, son. We'll need the young lady to come down to the station to give a statement. We hope you'll cooperate. Can we go to the hospital first? Ethan asked. My girlfriend. She's badly injured. At his words, Lily's body tensed. Lily? What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Ethan asked, concerned. No, she whispered, shaking her head. I'm okay, Ethan. The wounds don't hurt that much anymore. You should take your girlfriend to the hospital, the older detective, Detective Miller, said as he walked over. We can take her statement there. See if there's anything else you need from the apartment. We're about to seal the scene. Ethan looked at Lily. She tightened her grip on his arm and looked up at him. There's nothing left. Ethan, Detective Miller chuckled and clapped Ethan on the shoulder. You treat this girl right, son. Don't you let her down. Don't worry, officer. For the rest of my life, Lily Foster is all I need. Hearing Ethan's raw declaration, Lily looked up at the boy who was her entire world, her pale blue eyes seeming to shine with a possessive, molten light. Ahem, Detective Miller coughed. All right, the ambulance is here. Get going. I'm too old for this much sugar. It's bad for my diabetes. Riding in the ambulance to Northridge General, Ethan explained the situation. A nurse was assigned to take Lily for an examination and treatment before the police took her official statement. Looking at a nervous Lily, Ethan asked softly, Do you want me to come with you? Lily nodded, then, as if thinking of something, quickly shook her head. She didn't want him to see her scars. She was afraid that if he saw them, he would be disgusted and hate her. Sensing her thoughts, Ethan took her hand. It's okay, he whispered, then turned to the nurse. Could you please help us, ma'am? Such a sweet talker. Little brother, the nurse said with a warm smile. Come with me. As Ethan spoke, he felt his hand being squeezed tightly. He looked down to see Lily staring at him, her head tilted, her expression unreadable. A powerful survival instinct told him not to move a muscle. He just held her hand firmly as they followed the nurse to the treatment room. The nurse glanced at them, then quickly turned away. That girl's possessiveness is off the charts, she thought. This poor boy is in for a rough ride. Inside the exam room, the nurse began a preliminary check. Finding no major injuries other than on her back, she asked Lily to remove her clothes. Lily looked anxiously at Ethan, her hands clutching the hem of her shirt, unmoving. She's still worried. Ethan leaned down and pressed a soft kiss to her forehead. Still don't trust me? Lily touched her forehead, the scent of him still lingering there. Her hesitation melted away. She nodded and slowly began to undress. Her body was slender and graceful, a beautiful landscape of soft curves. But that beautiful landscape was marred by a terrible flaw. Ah, the nurse cried out. Wrapped around Lily's back were layers of bandages, soaked through with blood. A few fresh drops were seeping through the white gauze. Ethan froze, staring blankly at the sight. Startled by the nurse's scream, Lily's hands shot out and grabbed Ethan's wrists, her eyes frantically tracking his every move. Ethan clenched his jaw, forcing down a wave of pure rage. He looked at Lily, his own eyes filled with guilt. I'm so sorry, Lily. We've been together for so long, and I never noticed. I'm so sorry. No, Lily said, her hands moving to cup his face. It's not Ethan's fault. It's just, Lily didn't tell Ethan. She leaned forward, wrapping her arms around his neck and burying her face in his chest. Lily wants Ethan to put the medicine on for her. Can you? Yes. The nurse, recovering, handed Ethan a tube of antiseptic cream, explained how to apply it, and went to get fresh bandages from a cabinet. Afraid of hurting her, Ethan carefully applied the cream to her wounds. He was so focused that beads of sweat soon formed on his forehead. Ethan is so gentle, Lily thought. She reached up a hand to wipe the sweat from his brow, a look of pure bliss on her face as she watched the boy she had yearned for so long. The wounds covered a large area, and it took Ethan a long time to finish. The nurse returned and helped Lily wrap the new bandages around her back. Okay, this young lady's examination is complete. I'll have a report for you shortly, little brother. Okay, Ethan started to say, but was cut off. Okay, thank you, ma'am, Lily said, her voice sharp as she looked at the nurse with undisguised vigilance. She looked like a little lioness guarding her kill, staking her claim. The nurse couldn't help but laugh. She waved her hand dismissively. All right, I'm not going to steal your boyfriend. I'll leave you two alone now. Only after the nurse had fully exited the room did Lily's gaze return to Ethan. They were finally alone. Sensing a shift in the atmosphere, Ethan spoke first. Lily, let me help you get dressed. Okay, Lily's eyes suddenly narrowed, a playful, knowing look on her face as she purred. Ethan, you're so bad. Knock, knock, knock. A knock came from the door. Son, is the patient ready to come out? We still need to get her statement. It was Detective Miller. Yes, just a moment. Ethan patted Lily's back, signaling for her to get up. I'm a grown man. What is this being pinned down by a girl? I really need to start working out. You're a bad boy. Ethan. Lily gave him one last, lingering look before sitting up. Ethan opened the door and let the detective in. Miller handed him a file. This is the injury report. I brought it over for you. Thank you, officer. No problem. Miller turned his attention to Lily. Our investigation revealed that this Big Tony character was frequently beaten by his parents as a child. During one of those beatings, he lost his biological function. That's likely the source of his violent tendencies. But miss, can you tell me why you never called the police? Lily didn't speak. She just looked at Ethan. I see, the detective said, nodding slowly. This boy is your weakness, isn't he? Lily nodded at him, then hugged Ethan tightly. Ethan is the most important thing in my life. Lily. Ethan didn't say anything more. He just held the girl in his arms, his heart aching. Why? Why did a girl so kind and lovely have to suffer like this? Suddenly, Ethan remembered something. Officer, earlier, when I was following Big Tony, I saw him in an alley talking to a man with a scar on his face. I know. We'll get him to talk, Miller said grimly. He had his ways of making scum like Big Tony confess. Officer, how long will he be sentenced for? Ethan asked. With his crimes, we can charge him with assault, extortion, and a few other things. It's possible. The detective trailed off, interrupted by Lily. He also killed people, Lily said, her voice flat. What? Miller shot to his feet. When? Where? Right next to that old apartment complex. Under the big tree in the backyard. He beat 2 little kids to death. Understand. It's getting late. You two should get some rest. I promise I'll have a satisfactory answer for you by tomorrow. With that, the old detective hurried out of the room. The report looks okay. Just make sure the wounds don't get infected. Change the dressing every 3 days. And they should heal up nicely, the doctor told Ethan. Got it. Thank you, doctor. No problem. Does the patient need to be admitted for observation? Before Ethan could answer, Lily's head popped out from behind him. No, she declared. She had no intention of staying in a hospital. She wanted to live with Ethan. And so, Ethan found himself walking home, holding Lily's hand. When they arrived, He checked the time. It was already past midnight. He looked at Lily, who was standing quietly beside him. Lily, do you want something to eat? Lily shook her head. Lily's not hungry, just a little sleepy. Okay, there's a spare room next to mine. It was my parents'. You can sleep there. I'm going to take a shower. We still have class tomorrow. Good night, Lily. Ethan headed for the bathroom. Lily didn't move. She waited until she heard the sound of running water, then tiptoed to the bathroom door and gently turned the handle. It was locked. You jerk, Ethan. You'd even guard against a lady. Lily shook her fist in frustration before quietly disappearing. After a shower, Ethan walked into the living room and saw that Lily was gone. She must have gone to bed, he thought. I should probably sleep, too. He walked into his bedroom. I thought I left the light on. Guess I was mistaken. He fumbled his way to the bed in the dark. As he was about to lie down, he saw a pair of pale blue eyes glowing in the blackness. He hesitantly reached a hand out and touched something soft. A face. Wait a minute. Blue eyes. Lily, is it you? Before he could finish, a body squeezed into his arms. Ethan, I'm scared. In the dark, Ethan couldn't see the sly, triumphant look in her eyes. Feeling her small body tremble, any thought of making her leave vanished. He gently stroked the back of her head, his voice a soft whisper. It's okay, Lily. I'm here. You're safe. MMM. After a while, Ethan noticed that Lily had gone still, her breathing even and steady. She had fallen asleep. He gently laid her down flat, tucked the covers around her, and drifted off to sleep himself. The moment he was asleep, Lily's eyes snapped open. She quietly sat up and planted a soft kiss on his cheek. Good night, Ethan. I can't be too hasty, she thought. You have to boil the frogs slowly. Tonight, for the first time in her entire life, Lily slept soundly. What is the most wonderful thing in life? Waking up and seeing the person you love right beside you. Lily watched Ethan sleep, a blissful smile on her face. After indulging in the sight for a few moments, she got out of bed. As a wife, it was her duty to make her husband a loving breakfast. Ring, ring, ring. The alarm clock jolted Ethan awake. He looked at the empty space beside him and scratched his head. Where's Lily? A delicious aroma wafted in from the living room. Ethan walked out to see Lily, wearing an apron, cooking at the stove. Hearing him, she turned around and saw him standing there, still half asleep. Good morning, Ethan. Morning, Lily. Breakfast is almost ready. Lily, you're so domestic, Ethan muttered to himself, but Lily's sharp ears caught it. A faint blush colored her cheeks. She tilted her head, a playful smile on her lips. So, when is Ethan going to marry me? Ethan immediately fled to the bathroom, leaving a giggling Lily in the living room. He splashed his face with cold water, trying to calm his racing heart. Remembering his powerlessness the day before, he made a firm decision. He had to get stronger. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to protect the girl he loved most. When he opened the door, he saw Lily sitting at the dining table, beckoning to him. Ethan, come eat before it gets cold. He sat down beside her and saw a simple but inviting meal, a bowl of white porridge, a fried egg, and a side of sautéed greens. You know how to cook? Ethan asked, surprised. Lily puffed out her cheeks in a mock pout. Are you saying if Ethan can cook? I can't. Hurry up and try it. Or I don't mind if I do. Ethan picked up a piece of the greens with his chopsticks and put it in his mouth. A refreshing flavor burst in his mouth. Though it was stir-fried, it wasn't greasy at all. The crisp texture made him hum in appreciation. After swallowing, he gave Lily a big thumbs up. Lily, your cooking is amazing. Are you like a hidden treasure or something? Lily propped her chin on her hands, her eyes full of adoration. Well, when is Ethan going to dig up this treasure? Ethan nearly sprayed the porridge he was drinking all over the table. He looked at the smugly grinning Lily, picked up the fried egg with his chopsticks, and gently stuffed it into her mouth. Just eat your food. Don't talk so much. MMPH. Feeling Ethan's chopsticks in her mouth, Lily bit down on one of them, her tongue playfully tracing the tip before letting it go, a thin, glistening thread of saliva connecting them for a second. Ethan's egg is so delicious. The battle was over. Ethan had once again been thoroughly defeated. They walked to the university gates together, where they would have to part ways. See you at noon, Lily. See you at noon, Ethan. As Lily walked toward her classroom, the thought of not seeing Ethan for a whole morning made her feel restless. I wish we were in the same class. Then I could be with Ethan all the time. Ethan had just sat down at his desk when Leo King sauntered over, a smug look on his face. He put on a high, mocking voice. See you at noon, Lily Pooh. Ethan gave him a playful shove. Were you raised on celebrity gossip? You're getting way too good at this. Hey, it's your fault for being so lovey-dovey. I felt like a massive third wheel standing between you two. Then go find a girlfriend yourself. Please. Women only slow down my sword-drawing hand, Leo said, striking what he thought was a cool pose. Right. Anyway, you and Lily are being pretty open about this. Aren't you afraid, mister? Davis will find out. He already knows. Then why didn't he bust you? When I was dating that girl from the other class, he found out and broke us up without a second thought. Well, Leo, that's because... Hey, don't change the subject. I'm telling you, mister. Davis is a one-man romance demolition crew. If I didn't respect him so much, I would've. You would've what? A familiar, gentle voice asked from behind him. It was Mr. Davis. I would have kneeled before him in gratitude. Leo spun around, his expression instantly transforming into one of deep, heartfelt reverence. If it weren't for you, Mr. Davis, I'd still be lost, drowning in the shallow pursuit of beauty instead of knowledge. You saved me from a dark path. If there weren't so many people here, I'd be on my knees right now. You silver-tongued devil. If you're so grateful, then if you don't score in the top 15 on this week's quiz, you can look forward to cleaning my office for a month. Mr. Davis then turned to Ethan. Ethan White, my office. Now, you're going to explain last night to me. Yes, Mr. Davis. As they left, Leo remained frozen in place, contemplating the vast, unfair chasm that separated the lives of different people. Talk, Mr. Davis said, physically blocking Ethan from reaching the water cooler. You're not giving this old man a heart attack today, kid. All right, here's what happened. Ethan recounted the entire story from start to finish. What? How could something like this happen? Mr. Davis slammed his hand on the desk, his face red with anger. Ethan, why didn't you tell me last night? Don't you know how dangerous that situation was? I am your teacher. It is my duty to protect you, and even after you graduate, you will always be my student. Ethan looked at the furious teacher, not with fear, but with a deep sense of warmth. Who wouldn't love a teacher like this? Mr. Davis, thank you. Don't let it happen again. You hear me? I hear you. Mr. Davis, I have a question. What is it? He snapped. Are you still taking applications for favorite student? Mr. Davis's voice went dangerously low. Ethan White, are you itching for a month of detention? Ethan grinned. Just shows we have a good relationship. If that's all, I'll head back to class. Go, Mr. Davis grumbled. And don't you dare slack off on your studies. I won't. Ethan closed the door behind him and went back to class. During the lecture, Ethan felt a persistent gaze on him. He glanced at Leo, but his friend was already fast asleep on his desk. If it's not Leo, then who? He scanned the room and saw Isabella, sitting in the front row, quickly averting her eyes when he looked her way. Why is Isabella looking at me? Whatever. I'd rather think about what to have for lunch with Lily. When the bell rang, Ethan left the classroom, ignoring Leo's betrayed look. Ethan, wait, Isabella called from behind him. What's up? Here. She pulled some cash from her pocket and held it out to him. This is for the other night. You paid for my meal. It's fine, it wasn't much. Besides, I should be thanking you. If it weren't for your phone, I never would have found Lily that night. Take it. I don't like owing people. All right. Thanks, class president. Isabella's eyes darted away, and she bit her lip. About what happened before. I'm sorry. It's okay. Honestly, I should thank you for that, too. If you hadn't rejected me, I probably never would have met a girl as wonderful as Lily. If the original Ethan hadn't confessed, this new Ethan wouldn't even be in this world. But to Isabella's ears, his words meant something entirely different. So you're saying, if I'd said yes that day, you'd have been with me? Yeah, probably, Ethan said after a moment's thought. After all, the original Ethan had only had eyes for her. Then what if now I? Before she could finish, a figure slammed into her shoulder, knocking her aside. The force was deliberate. Ethan, let's go get lunch, Lily said, linking her arm through his. Okay, well, class president, Lily and I are going to eat. Without waiting for a reply, Ethan started to lead Lily away. Ethan, wait for me a second, Lily said. She walked up to Isabella, leaned in close, and whispered something in her ear. Isabella's face went pale. She stared at Lily in horror, as if she'd just seen a ghost. Okay, Ethan, let's go, Lily said, returning to his side with a smile. What did you just say to her? That's a secret between us girls, oh, and Ethan, she added, her voice dropping to a sweet, chilling tone. If I ever see you alone with another girl again, there's no telling what Lily might do. Got it. Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. Okay, for my own sake and for hers, Operation Heal Lily needs to be fast-tracked. I really don't want to get stabbed for having a normal conversation with another human being. Isabella watched them go, her eyes fixed on Lily. That girl is terrifying. She replayed Lily's words in her head. Isabella, my dear friend, Did you know Ethan liked you for 2.5 years? Do you have any idea how jealous that made me? But I'm so glad you said no. Because if you hadn't, well, Lily wouldn't mind looking just like you to be with Ethan. Now would she? After lunch, Lily insisted they take a walk around campus. By the way, Lily, there's something I want to talk to you about, Ethan began. He'd realized that since she'd moved in with him, she hadn't brought a single thing with her. What is it, Ethan? This is our private time. You know, if you're thinking about running away, Lily will just have to break your legs. She said the most terrifying things in the sweetest voice. The events of the past few days must have left her feeling incredibly insecure. Ethan sighed dramatically. Well, I was just going to say that this weekend, I wanted to take you out somewhere fun. But it seems like Lily isn't interested, so I guess we'll just forget about it. He pulled his hand from hers and started walking away by himself. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. By now she should have grabbed my hand. Why isn't she moving? Just as he was about to turn around, a pair of arms wrapped around him from behind. No, Ethan, don't go. It's Lily's fault. I was wrong. Oh, and who was it just now who was talking about breaking my legs? Ethan turned around, a teasing glint in his eye as he looked down at her. Lily turned her head away, avoiding his gaze. I don't know who you're talking about. Duh. No, ichiju inyohu. Ethan reached out and gently pinched her soft cheek. So, does Lily want to go out with me tomorrow? Yes, she said, nuzzling her face into his hand with a contented sigh. No matter where Ethan goes from now on, Lily will be with him. Her head slowly moved along his hand until her lips were right next to his ear. Lily really likes Ethan's caresses. So tonight, can Ethan caress Lily a little more? Seeing the sultry look in her eyes, Ethan immediately snatched his hand back. How was he supposed to compete with this? He was all physical defense, and Lily was a pure magic user. Lily, you wait here. My stomach suddenly feels upset. Faking a stomachache, he clutched his abdomen and fled. After Ethan left, Lily pulled out her phone and checked the time. 30 minutes until next class. She glanced around. The path was empty. The time, the place, the people, everything was perfect. Lily licked her lips. Not dry anymore. Then, she silently began to follow him. Ethan ducked into a stall in the men's restroom, panting for breath. Why was his self-control so weak? He'd never felt like this in his past life. Why did he fall to pieces whenever he was in front of Lily? Knock, knock. Someone was knocking on his stall door. Sorry, occupied. Knock, knock. The knocking came again. Dude, the other stalls are all empty. Can't you use one of them? Knock, knock. The knocking continued. Fed up, Ethan unlocked the door, ready to confront whatever persistent weirdo was bothering him. Hey, didn't you hear what I? He stopped short. The person knocking was Lily. Lily, what are you doing here? This is the men's room. Get out. She ignored him, pushing him back into the stall with surprising strength and locking the door behind them. As Ethan started to protest, she pressed a finger to his lips. She don't make a sound. Ethan, it would be bad if someone found us. They'd say Lily is a pervert. You are being a pervert right now. The calm he had just found was instantly shattered. As Lily's body pressed against his, Ethan leaned in and whispered, Lily, don't. What if someone finds us? What did you say, Ethan? I couldn't hear you clearly. I said. As Ethan opened his mouth to speak, Lily's cherry-red lips crashed onto his. MMPH. MMPH. Ethan protested, his voice muffled. Lily, you fight dirty. This is a sneak attack. Suddenly, they heard footsteps outside. Finally. I was about to burst. Knew I shouldn't have had so much water. A guy ran into the restroom. Ethan froze. If they made any noise now, his academic career could be over. He blinked rapidly, trying to signal to Lily, but she seemed to ignore him completely, continuing to kiss him deeply. To avoid being discovered, Ethan could only surrender. Suddenly, her tongue slipped past his lips, exploring his territory with wild abandon. He tried to fight back, but was no match for her assault and was defeated in a single round. Feel much better, the guy said, and, after a moment, he left the restroom. Shush LRRP. As soon as the guy was gone, a wet sound echoed in the stall. Lily, I can't Brea, MMPH. Before Ethan could finish, he was pulled back into battle. It was a total, crushing defeat. Ring, ring, ring. The bell for class rang. Looking down at Ethan, who was breathless, his eyes glazed over, Lily finally released him. Is it over? Ethan came back to his senses and saw Lily leaning against his chest, smacking her lips contentedly, as if savoring the taste. She looked up and pecked him on the cheek. I'm going now, Ethan. Okay. He managed to slur. His tongue was completely numb. Lily giggled and slipped out of the stall. As she stepped out of the restroom, her eyes flickered toward a large tree outside the window, a faint, knowing smile playing on her lips. Ethan stumbled out, leaning against the wall for support. His body had been pressed against the stall door for so long, and the nearly 15-minute-long kiss battle had left his legs weak. "Let's go." Ethan. Lily appeared at his side and looped her arm through his. Ethan poked her forehead with his finger. "Lily, don't ever do something so dangerous again." I know, she said, sticking her tongue out apologetically. Right? She definitely didn't listen. Might as well get to class. Their figures slowly disappeared down the hallway. Just then, a person emerged from behind the tree and ran off in the opposite direction. After a brief goodbye to Lily, Ethan returned to his desk, his mind still reeling. Smack! Leo slammed his hand on Ethan's desk. "What are you spacing out about?" "Huh? And nothing. Ring and equal to or scoring and equal to." Leo leaned in close. "You really think you look okay? Did someone bully you?" As if. Who would dare bully me?" Ethan said, puffing out his chest defiantly. A bright, swollen hickey bloomed on his neck. "What? You don't believe me? Never mind. Forget I said anything." Leo went back to his seat and rested his head on his hand, seemingly contemplating the meaning of life. He was still playing in the mud, while other people were already planning their futures. The bell rang and Mr. Peterson, the balding geography teacher, walked in. "Good afternoon, class. Today, we will be continuing our study of geography." His accent was so thick, the only word anyone could really understand was geography. "Excuse me, I'm late." Isabella knocked on the door. After getting the teacher's permission, she hurried to her seat. As she sat down, she intentionally glanced over at Ethan. He was staring blankly at the blackboard, completely oblivious to her gaze. Ring, ring, ring. Since it was Friday, school let out in the afternoon. Students began packing their bags, ready to leave. Just then, Mr. Davis walked in. "Everyone quiet down. I have a quick announcement." Once everyone was seated, he began. "I know you're all eager to go home, so I'll make this quick. The final exams are just around the corner, so I expect you all to work hard these next few weeks. Don't let 3 years of effort go to waste." He paused. "Now for the good news. Next Monday, the school is organizing a camping trip. Think of it as a chance to relax a bit. It will also be our last school activity together, so I want everyone to cherish it." "Yeah." The entire class erupted in cheers, students instantly forming groups to discuss their plans for the trip. "Hey, Ethan, want to be in a group for Monday?" Leo asked with a grin. "It's our last hurrah. We gotta go all out." "Sure. Who's in our group?" "So far, just us." Ethan punched Leo's shoulder playfully. "Our very own Mr. Love him and leave him, the guy who claims women fall at his feet. How is it that when it counts, you come up empty?" Leo jumped to his feet, indignant. "You have a nerve to talk? I at least know a few people in this class. You almost forgot who I was." "Ahem, let's not talk about that. Are there any other options?" A 2-person group is kind of pathetic. Ethan, knowing he was in the wrong, quickly changed the subject. "Can I join?" Isabella walked over. "Isabella, what do you want?" Leo asked, looking her up and down. "You said you need more people, right? I just want to help." "Help us? Do we know you that well?" The aggression was palpable. Leo was on a roll. "Oh, okay. Sorry to bother you." Isabella covered her face and ran away. Leo was stunned. He never expected the usually tough Isabella to react like that. "Hey," Leo poked Ethan's shoulder. "Was I too harsh?" "For her, maybe a little, but it's not your fault." Ethan felt no sympathy for the crying girl, not because she had messed with him, but because his heart already belonged to someone else. "So, should we ask her to join?" Leo asked, looking at Isabella, who was now sobbing at her desk. "Up to you. You're the group leader." Ethan stood up and patted Leo's shoulder. "I'm heading out. My girl's waiting for me." After Ethan left, Leo timidly approached Isabella and gently tapped her trembling shoulder. "Hey, class president. I'm sorry. You know I have a big mouth. I said some dumb stuff. I hope you won't take it to heart." Isabella looked up, her eyes wet with tears. "It's okay. Can I still be in your group?" "Of course. But why do you want to join our group anyway?" I want to properly apologize to Ethan. I feel really bad about what I did." "Oh, is that it? You should have just said so," Leo said, relieved. "Could you do me a favor, Leo? Could you create a group chat for us? It'll be easier to coordinate things." "Sure thing, class president." Leo pulled out his phone and added Ethan and Isabella to a new group chat. "All set. Well, I'm heading home." "Okay, Leo. Be safe on your way home," Isabella said, smiling at him with her eyes narrowed. Bye, class president." Leo left, scratching his head. Isabella seems like a completely different person. Didn't she used to look down on Ethan? Is this what Mom was talking about? That women love bad boys. After Leo was gone, Isabella's expression reverted to its usual cool indifference. She opened her phone and clicked on the new group chat. Then on Ethan's profile, a cartoon avatar with wide, intelligent eyes stared back at her. Under, sir. Huh. I never noticed how cute he was, she whispered. Ever since Lily had threatened her, Isabella's mindset had shifted. Why would a girl like Lily fall for a guy as ordinary as Ethan? It wasn't until she ran into him at the barbecue joint that her perception began to change. Maybe it was resentment over Lily's threat, or maybe it was a strange admiration for Ethan's devotion, but an irresistible urge to take him from Lily had taken root in her. You like him so much, don't you, Lily? If I stole him from you, you'd be heartbroken, wouldn't you? And then, if I broke him, you'd be in absolute despair. I can't wait to see that pathetic look on your face. And if I told Ethan what I saw this afternoon, I wonder how he would react. This is going to be so much fun. Isabella didn't realize it, but her mind had already changed completely. A dark seed had been planted. Ethan, as soon as he stepped out of the school, he saw Lily walking toward him. Let's go home. MMM. The moment they were out of the school gates, Lily linked her arm with his, resting her head sweetly on his shoulder. Ethan, did your homeroom teacher tell you about the activity on Monday? He did. I'm really looking forward to it. Can Lily come and play with Ethan then? Ethan stroked her head. As long as Lily wants to, she can come anytime. You said it, Ethan. Sensing a dangerous shift in the conversation, Ethan quickly changed the subject. Ahem, we should probably think about our plans for tomorrow. We're going out, aren't we? All right. Lily held up her hands and started counting on her fingers. First out, he, and then with Ethan, he, and finally, I'll take Ethan in. Heh. This girl's thoughts are a federal crime. Although he didn't know exactly what she was saying, the sight of her practically drooling told him everything he needed to know. Thwack. He gave her a light karate chop on the head. Ethan, what was that for? If I hadn't stopped you, the next scene would have been R-rated. No, it wouldn't. I was just thinking about going to the movies with Ethan. You're the one with the dirty mind. Objection. Then please explain why you were drooling just now. That was because I was thinking about all the delicious food we'll eat at the restaurant. It's you who has the dirty mind. That actually makes sense. But Lily, can you please take your hand out of my shirt? You found me. They joked around on their way back to the apartment. At the entrance to the building, a middle-aged man in casual clothes was smoking a cigarette. When he saw Ethan and Lily approaching, he quickly stubbed it out in a nearby trash can and walked toward them. Ethan recognized him immediately. It was Detective Miller. Ethan White. Long time no see, the detective said with a friendly smile. Detective Miller? What are you doing here? I came to give you an update on what happened the other day. Is something wrong? Ethan gently nudged Lily. Lily, honey, why don't you go on up? I'm just going to chat with the detective for a minute. Lily's body stiffened. She didn't move, her grip on his arm tightening. Sigh, I don't know what to do with you. Ethan stroked her head and looked back at the detective. You can speak freely, sir. All right, I have two things to tell you. First, Big Tony was found guilty of aggravated assault, murder, extortion, and a slew of other charges. He's been sentenced to death. Hearing this, Lily's eyes welled up. She turned and buried her face in Ethan's chest, her shoulders shaking with sobs. Seeing her like this, Ethan's heart ached. He gently rubbed her back, comforting her. Lily is finally free from her prison. This is a good start. If I just keep working at it, I know I can help her heal. He had no idea that Lily wasn't sobbing from grief. She was laughing. Detective Miller continued. Second, we discovered that Big Tony was connected to an illegal gambling ring. We followed the lead and busted the whole operation. We arrested almost everyone involved. However, one of his close friends, a man named Mickey, managed to escape the raid. I'm worried he might try to retaliate against you. So please be careful. If you run into any trouble, call me immediately. He handed Ethan a slip of paper with his number on it. I will. Thank you, Detective Miller. Okay, I won't keep you two any longer. I'll be on my way. Goodbye, sir. After watching the detective leave, Ethan rested his chin on top of Lily's head and held her close. Don't worry, Lily. I'm here with you now. Hearing this, Lily looked up, her face a mask of tear-streaked vulnerability that would break anyone's heart. You promised, Ethan. You'll always be with me. Of course. I'll always be with Lily. I knew Ethan was the best. After hearing his answer, Lily, who had been hiding her hands behind her back, slowly relaxed them. What does Lily want to eat tonight? As long as Ethan makes it, I'll love it. They went upstairs, talking and laughing. Ethan placed a bowl of tomato and egg noodle soup in front of her. I don't know what you don't like, so I just made some noodles. See if you like it. If not, I can make something else. Lily shook her head and pulled Ethan down to sit beside her. As long as Ethan makes it, Lily will love it. I'm glad. Go on, eat up. MMM. Lily picked up a piece of tomato with her chopsticks and held it to Ethan's lips. Ethan is the hero. The first bite is for Ethan. My Lily is so thoughtful. The tangy sweet flavor of the tomato exploded on his taste buds, sparking his appetite. He couldn't wait to get his own bowl. Delicious. You eat, Lily. I'm going to get my bowl. Ethan was about to get up, but Lily pulled him back with one hand. Wait, Ethan, you still have to eat the egg. Looking at her expectant face, how could he refuse? Open your mouth, Ethan. As soon as he opened his mouth, something soft and slick slid inside. This egg feels wrong. Wait a minute, this is... The bowl of noodle soup on the table was untouched, so why was there a slurping sound? Ethan ran to the balcony, greedily gulping in the fresh air. It was the first time he'd ever felt his brain short-circuit from lack of oxygen. Back inside, Lily, her face flushed, was slowly slurping the now soggy noodles, her eyes never leaving him. Ethan came back into the living room, touching his swollen lips and looking at a giggling Lily. What are you laughing at? He grumbled. This is all your fault. Sorry, Ethan. Look, the noodles are all cold now. How am I supposed to eat them? Well, I could feed them to you, Lily offered, pointing to her own mouth. Terrified that she might go feral again, Ethan immediately grabbed his own bowl and started shoveling it into his mouth. After dinner, Lily offered to do the dishes, and Ethan let her. He flopped onto the sofa and pulled out his phone, noticing he had been added to a new group chat. How did I get in this group? He opened it and saw only 3 members. One was Leo, with a tiger avatar. The other had a flower for an avatar, maybe a carnation. He immediately tagged Leo. Ethan at Leo, what group did you pull me into? A message popped up almost instantly. Forget me not. Good evening, Ethan. This is the group for our camping trip on Monday. Forget me not? Who's that? Ethan. Sorry, who is this? The Leo, formerly known as King. That's Isabella. She joined our group after school. Isabella? Ethan couldn't figure out why she would join their group. She was popular in class. Still, out of politeness, he replied. Ethan. All right, well, welcome. Forget me not. Thank you, Ethan. Forget me not. Ethan, Leo, are you two free tomorrow? I was thinking we could go buy supplies for the trip together. The Leo, formerly known as King. Yeah, sure. What about you, Ethan? Ethan. Sorry, I can't. I'm spending the day with my Lily tomorrow. You guys go ahead without me. The Leo, formerly known as King. Sigh. A man in love is a devoted man. Fine, if you're not going, I guess I'll go with the class president. Forget me not. Oh, I'm so sorry. Leo, I just remembered I have something to do tomorrow. I'm afraid I can't make it after all. In a room far away, Leo threw a pillow against the wall. Damn it. Turns out I was the clown all along. Lily, is that the only name you know how to say? Isabella shrieked, throwing a stuffed doll onto the floor. She didn't know why, but ever since she rejected Ethan's confession, she found herself caring more and more about the boy she once wouldn't have given a second glance. She picked up the doll. A small piece of tape on its face read Ethan. Isabella's fingers tightened around its neck, her teeth gritted. You used to be like a little puppy, always following me around. I'd give you one little treat, and you'd be too happy to sleep for a whole night. But who gave you the right to betray your master? It's always the master who gets a new dog, never the other way around. Bling. The screen of the phone on her bed lit up. The little puppy finally can't hold back anymore, can he? Isabella dropped the doll and picked up her phone. The call was from her father. Isabella, honey, I'm so sorry. I have to go on a business trip for work. I probably won't be back this week. It's okay, Dad. I'm used to it. Isabella, You should get back to work, Dad. I'm sleepy. Okay. Good night, sweetie. She ended the call and glanced at the group chat. Still no new messages. Looks like it's just the two of us again tonight. She picked up Ethan from the floor, dusted him off, and carried him to bed. Lying on her side, she stared at the motionless doll, her voice dropping to a sickly sweet whisper. When a puppy is disobedient, the master has to keep it on a tight leash. The plan begins tomorrow. Good night, my little puppy. Ethan put his phone away just as Lily came out of the kitchen. What were you doing, Ethan? Leo was just asking if I wanted to go buy camping supplies tomorrow. I said no. Oh, why did you say no? Lily asked, pretending she didn't know anything. Because I have to spend the day with the lovely Miss Lily Foster, don't I? I'm doing my best to play along with your act. Ethan is so good to Lily. How should Lily repay you? Feeling Lily getting closer, Ethan swallowed hard. If I don't run now, I might actually die. This girl is a human-shaped energy vampire. I'm going to take a shower. Ethan fled to the bathroom, not seeing the way Lily's playful smile instantly vanished the moment he was gone, replaced by a cold, indifferent mask. She picked up Ethan's phone from the sofa and expertly typed in the password. Password INSORRECT. He changed the password. It's not his birthday anymore. Is Ethan hiding something from me? Lily's face darkened, a terrifying storm brewing in her eyes. Click. The bathroom door opened. Ethan, shirtless, ran out to grab a towel he'd left on the balcony. Gotta be quick, before Lily gets any ideas. As he reached the bathroom door again, he noticed Lily standing by the sofa. She hadn't moved since he'd come out. Her head was bowed, her long hair obscuring her face, her fingers tapping relentlessly on the screen. Password incorrect. Password incorrect. Password incorrect. A taut string in Lily's mind was being stretched to its breaking point. The password is your birthday, you dummy. Ethan took the phone from her, typed in her birth date, and the screen unlocked instantly. My birthday. Hearing this, the darkness in Lily's eyes cleared in an instant. Yeah, I saw it when I was in Mr. Davis's office looking for your info, so I memorized it. Ethan, what is it? Lily's lips curved into a beautiful smile. She wrapped her arms around his waist and buried her head in his neck. I really, really like you. // The feeling is mutual. Now, I'm really going to shower. Because he was shirtless and terrified of another sneak attack, Ethan grabbed his towel and bolted for the bathroom. Watching his comical escape, Lily giggled. This was the life she wanted, a simple, peaceful existence with the person she loved. As Lily was about to put the phone down, it vibrated. I'm a little curious. I should probably look. She unlocked the phone and saw a new message from Leo. The Leo formerly known as King, Ethan, Mr. Davis just posted in the main group. The three of us are group 9. The bus on Monday is bus 4, don't forget. 3 people? Who? Lily opened the group chat and saw a member named Forget-Me-Not. Isabella. Heh, I already warned you. Why won't you understand? Back in elementary school, another girl had approached Ethan, saying she wanted to be his friend. After Lily found out, she cornered the girl after school one day. Stay away from my Ethan. Why should I listen to you? I'm going to be friends with Ethan whether you like it or not, the girl said, shoving Lily aside. Excuse me, I have to go home. Please move. The girl hadn't taken 2 steps before her vision blurred and she collapsed. When she woke up, she was in a small, dark room, her hands tied to a post. She struggled in a panic, trying to get free. Don't bother struggling. It's useless, Lily's voice echoed as she slowly walked out of the shadows. Help! Somebody help me! The girl screamed. No one can hear you, but if you want to keep screaming, be my guest. Lily, what are you doing? I'll tell the teacher. It seems you still don't understand your situation. Lily grabbed the girl's hair and yanked her head up. Ah, the girl shrieked in pain. I have many ways to make you suffer. Do you want to hear them? Lily cupped her own face, a crazed look in her eyes as she began to mutter to herself. Would you prefer to be covered in needles, or have insects crawl into every corner of your body, or maybe, let me pull out all your hair, one by one? The girl had never heard such horrifying threats. She burst into tears. I'm sorry. I won't try to take Ethan from you. Please, just let me go, please. You said it yourself. Lily tilted the girl's chin up, forcing her to meet her gaze. If I ever see you near Ethan again, I'll make you wish you were never born. The girl nodded, trembling. Lily untied the ropes, her face an icy mask. Get out. This is the hill behind the school. Follow the path down, and you'll get back. Oh, and don't even think about asking anyone for help. I hope you're smart enough not to make the same mistake twice. Hearing this, the girl scrambled to her feet as if granted a pardon and fled, tumbling down the path in her haste. The next day, Ethan got to school and scanned the classroom, looking for the new friend he'd made yesterday. He scratched his head, confused. Strange. Didn't she say she'd be here early this morning? Suddenly, a hand tapped his shoulder. Ethan turned. Hey, I was starting to think you weren't going to show. But the person behind him wasn't the girl from yesterday. It was Lily Foster. Morning, Ethan, she chirped. Oh, hey, Lily. Good morning. Lily was the first friend Ethan had ever made, all the way back in elementary school. He remembered it clearly. On the very first day, she had walked right up to his desk, stuck out her hand, and said, Hi there, I'm Lily Foster. What's your name? Such a pretty girl. A half-shy, half-thrilled Ethan had taken her small hand. Hi, Lily. I'm Ethan White. From that day on, they were inseparable. Wherever Ethan went, Lily was right there beside him. Until about a week later. When Lily was out of the room, another girl from their class scurried over to Ethan's desk, her face bright red. Hi, she'd said. Can I be your friend? Sure. Ethan had answered without a second thought. He'd found it strange that, for a whole week, Lily was the only person he'd gotten to know. It seemed like every time he'd had a chance to meet another classmate, Lily had somehow intervened. But today, he was finally making a new friend, and he couldn't have been happier. Ethan, Lily came running over, throwing her arms out to block him behind her. She stared warily at the girl. What do you want? I just wanted to be friends with Ethan. Ethan, we're leaving. Before the girl could finish, Lily grabbed Ethan's hand and started pulling him away. The other girl wasn't having it. "Why are you so selfish?" she shouted after them. "Ethan isn't your property." Lily shot the girl a dismissive glance and kept walking, dragging Ethan along. After a moment, her grip tightened and Ethan's hand began to ache. He pulled away from her grasp. "Lily, what are you doing?" "I just wanted to be friends with her." "Ethan doesn't need other friends," she said, her voice flat. "He just needs me." "Why are you being so selfish?" Ethan stared at her, a look of disgust creeping onto his face. Was this why he couldn't seem to make any friends? Was it all her doing? Don't look at me like that." The look in his eyes seemed to shatter something inside her. Her gaze turned dark and deep as she stared back at him, muttering, "Everything was just getting better. Ethan can only belong to me. Only to me, Lily Foster." A shiver ran down Ethan's spine at the sight of her grim expression. He turned and ran without looking back, leaving Lily standing alone in the hallway. The next day, Ethan got to school early. He waited and waited, but as the first bell approached, the girl from yesterday still hadn't shown up. He started to worry. "That's weird. She's always here so early. Is she sick?" Just then, Lily's voice whispered in his ear. "Are you looking for her, Ethan? Don't worry. She won't be bothering us ever again. By the way, you shouldn't make friends so carelessly, okay? I'm the only friend you'll ever need." At that moment, their homeroom teacher walked in. "Class, I have an announcement. One of our students has transferred to another school, effective today. Billy, you can move your desk up one row." Ethan whipped his head around to look at Lily, his face a mask of horror. She was smiling at him, a sweet, captivating smile that plunged him into an icy abyss. A devil. She was a devil. After Ethan stepped out of the shower, he found Lily sitting on the couch, patting the spot next to her. "Come here." "What's up, Lily?" he asked. "Can I come over for the camping trip next week?" "Of course. You're always welcome here." "Good. Then sit down," she said, patting the cushion again. "What's she up to now?" The moment Ethan sat down, Lily moved behind him and placed her hands on his shoulders. "Lily, I'm going to dry your hair for you," she said, pulling out a hairdryer and giving it a little shake. Ethan let out a long breath. "Oh, is that all? Well, thanks, Lily. Leave it to me." As the warm air blew through his hair, Ethan closed his eyes, enjoying the feeling. He was completely unaware of the look of intoxicated bliss on Lily's face behind him. "Oh, by the way, Lily," he said, remembering something. He opened his eyes and turned his head. Lily snapped back to reality. "What is it, Ethan?" "It's my turn to put the medicine on your back. You'd better get ready." A wicked grin spread across Ethan's face, like a big bad wolf who'd just spotted a fluffy white rabbit. Hearing this, Lily lowered her head, a blush coloring her cheeks. "Okay," she mumbled. When Ethan returned with the ointment, he found Lily already lying face down on his bed. Except, why was she completely? Ethan frantically covered his eyes. Lily, who told you to take everything off? This way it's easier for you, right? Hurry up, Ethan. My back is really starting to hurt." "You're the one playing with fire," Ethan thought, gritting his teeth. He strode over to the bed and straddled the back of her thighs. A soft whimper escaped her lips. Feeling him move, Lily buried her face in the pillow. "Can you please not make those weird noises?" Ethan groaned. Gritting his teeth, he forced himself to start applying the ointment. Damn, Lily's in incredible shape. Her lithe, elegant form was enough to make even him, a guy who'd seen his share of superstars in his past life, take a sharp breath. When she didn't feel him moving for a long moment, Lily peeked over her shoulder. Seeing him staring, transfixed, her face turned a deep crimson. "Ethan, are you? Go put the medicine on." Sorry." Startled, Ethan picked up the tube of ointment with a trembling hand. Relying on sheer force of will, Ethan managed to calm himself down. "Lily, tell me if this hurts, okay?" He gently began to smooth the cream over her injuries. "Lily, did I hurt you?" He stopped, his voice filled with concern. No, it's a little cold." Ethan could hear his own heart pounding in his ears. Clutching his stomach, he painstakingly continued his task. "Ethan," Lily's voice murmured from the pillow. "What is it?" He glanced over and found her looking back at him. Biting her index finger, her face flushed. "So, Mr. Wolf," she purred, "when are you finally going to eat me? I'm really looking forward to it." Ahem. Ethan quickly cut her off. "Lily, stop messing around. Let me finish putting this on first." Lily gave him a look full of meaning, then smacked her lips. "You're not being very honest, are you, Ethan?" "Huh? Of course I am. Do I look like that kind of guy?" He held up his hands as if to prove his innocence. "It seems you've evolved then." Ethan froze for a second, then sighed. "Lily, can you please stop talking?" Seeing the look of utter defeat on his face, Lily couldn't help but giggle. A few moments later, the job was done. Ethan placed her clothes next to her on the bed. All set. You should get dressed. I'm gonna go wash my hands. He got off the bed and was about to open the door when a pair of arms wrapped around him from behind. Foul play. She's not fighting fair. Ethan swallowed hard. Lily, didn't I tell you to? Just as he braced himself for whatever bad thing she had planned, she let go. There, I just wanted a hug. Now, go wash your hands. You should get dressed, Ethan said, flustered. You'll catch a cold. He walked out without looking back. Lily held up the keychain she had just lifted from his pocket and dangled it in front of her face. One is for the apartment, and the other two must be for the bedrooms. With a smirk, she turned, put her clothes back on, and flopped lazily onto the bed, her eyes closed, lost in thought. When Ethan returned to the bedroom, he found her waiting. Lily, it's time for you to go back to your room. We have to go shopping tomorrow. She grabbed his wrist, her voice turning into a pout. But I want to sleep with you. Absolutely not, Ethan said sternly. You have medicine on your back. You have to sleep by yourself tonight. Fine, she grumbled, her lips puckered in a pout as she reluctantly left. Watching her go so easily, Ethan felt a flicker of suspicion. Wait a minute. Something's not right with Lily. Normally, she would have kept pestering him relentlessly. But this time she just left? She must be trying to get him to lower his guard, so she can sneak in later. I'm not falling for it. Convinced of his genius, Ethan locked his bedroom door and nodded to himself. Flawless. Time for bed. After turning off the lights, he lay down and was immediately enveloped by a sweet, fragrant scent. Lily's scent smells so good. Just a whiff is enough to add years to my life. Wait, what am I thinking? He shook his head, trying to clear the impure thoughts, and slowly drifted off to sleep. Click. Just then, the door to the adjacent room opened with a soft creak. Lily tiptoed to Ethan's door and tried the handle. Lock. Oomph. I knew it, she whispered, her eyes narrowing as she pulled a keychain from her pocket. The biggest one is for the front door, this one is for my room, which means the last one must be for. She inserted the key into the lock, gave it a gentle twist, and the door swung open. Mr. Big Bad Wolf, she purred. Here I come. The pitter-patter of the rain outside, falling for 3 days and 3 nights. The obnoxious pop song from his phone's alarm jolted Ethan awake. He rubbed his eyes and shut it off. A glance at the time showed it was already 8:30. He stretched and started to get up. Time to make Lily some breakfast. She needs to rest after I put that medicine on her last night. He turned and saw Lily right beside him. Lily, how did she get in here? I locked the door. Deep in sleep, she didn't seem to stir. Phew. Ethan let out a quiet breath. Good, I didn't wake her. I'll figure out how she got in later. Right now, I need to make breakfast. He carefully slipped on his pants and tiptoed out of the bedroom. As he left, Lily's body shifted, moving into the warm spot he had just vacated. In the kitchen, Ethan took a chicken from a fridge. After a quick prep, he set on the stove to simmer into a broth. Then he fried 2 eggs, grabbed a bag of toast, and made a sandwich with a little ketchup. There, a nutritious meal, courtesy of Ethan White. He glanced at the clock on the wall. 9:30. Time to wake Lily. He walked back to the bedroom. Seeing the peaceful look on her face, a warm smile spread across his. Everything was moving in the right direction. If he just kept up his careful treatment, he was sure Lily would overcome her past trauma and become a normal, happy girl. He gently pinched her soft cheek. Time to wake up, sleepyhead. Lily's eyes fluttered open. She looked at him for a second, then closed them again. Lily needs a kiss from Ethan, or she can't wake up. All right. I'll wake my sleeping beauty. He leaned down and planted a soft kiss on her forehead. There, satisfied now. But she shook her head and raised a finger to her lips. Ethan has to kiss me here for me to wake up. Okay, so I have to hit the weak point to get the critical stun. Fair enough. He realized this would be the first time he'd actively kissed her on the lips. Why did his heart feel like it was about to pound out of his chest with anticipation? Ethan's Adam's apple bobbed. He quickly leaned in, pecked her on the lips, and pulled back. Lily's eyes slowly opened. A look of pure bliss on her face. She sat up and threw her arms around him. Are you the prince who came to rescue me? She whispered. I am. I have nothing to offer in return, only myself. Will my prince accept? Of course, fair maiden. Now, surrender to my weight? I think I messed up the line. Hee. A laugh like the chiming of silver bells escaped her. All right, breakfast is ready. Get up so we can eat. Okay. Lily kissed his cheek. Aren't you going to ask how I got in last night? I already know. Ethan's eyes fell on the keychain, peeking out of her pocket. He gently squeezed her cheeks. I was just worried the medicine I put on you last night would rub off. It wasn't that I wanted to be apart from you. I didn't know you were going to be so sneaky. Hiv, you can't me. She stuck out her tongue playfully. I just don't want to be apart from you. What am I going to do with you? After they ate, They headed to the Northridge Promenade. Since Lily only owned her school uniform, Ethan took her to a clothing store first. As soon as they entered, a sales associate walked up to them. "Welcome. Are you two looking for anything in particular?" At the sight of the friendly woman, Lily instinctively stepped in front of Ethan, her eyes wary. "Relax," Ethan whispered, squeezing her hand. "You're the only one for me." He turned to the associate. "Hi, I'd like to buy a few outfits for my girlfriend. Could you help us with some recommendations?" Girlfriend. The word instantly deflated Lily's intense, protective aura like a wilting flower. Of course, the associate beamed. "Your girlfriend is so beautiful. She's a natural model." She gestured for Lily to follow her deeper into the store. "Please come with me, miss. We have so many beautiful clothes that would be perfect for you." Lily looked back at Ethan, wanting him to come with her. He shook his head. "You have to pick them out yourself, Lily. Don't you want to surprise me?" Hearing that, Lily's eyes lit up, and she followed the associate. "Oh, this dress would look amazing on you," the woman said enthusiastically, holding a dress up to Lily's chest. "By the way, you and your boyfriend are a perfect match." "Thank you. You have to try it on. It'll make your boyfriend's jaw drop." The associate gently pushed Lily toward the fitting room. "I'll be right outside the door, miss. Just let me know if you need anything." Lily looked at her reflection in the mirror, then down at the snow-white dress in her hands. While he waited, Ethan opened his phone and saw a message from Isabella. "Forget-me-not. Good afternoon, Ethan." "Ethan, afternoon. Forget-me-not. Are you out shopping with your girlfriend right now?" "Ethan, yeah. What's up, class rep?" "Forget-me-not." "Oh, nothing. I just wanted to ask if you bought everything you need for the camping trip. I bought some extra stuff if you need anything." "Ethan, thanks for the offer, but I'm good. Lily and I'm going to pick things up later." "Forget-me-not." "Oh, I see. Well, have a great weekend, Ethan." Equals carrot carrot smiley face. "Ethan, thanks, you too, class rep." He closed his phone, unaware that in a coffee shop not far from the store, Isabella was sitting and watching his every move. "Ethan, what do you think?" Lily's voice came from behind him. He turned, and for a moment, he was completely mesmerized. She was wearing a snow-white dress, the skirt swaying rhythmically as she walked, like a white butterfly dancing gracefully through the air. "We'll take it," Ethan said, handing his card to the associate. "And please, help my girlfriend pick out a few more outfits." "I'll take them all." "Ethan." Lily's heart felt as if it were coated in honey, but she stomped her foot in protest. "I can buy them myself. I have money." She'd saved up a lot from her part-time job. She didn't want him to think she was a spendthrift. "Silly girl. Is there really a difference between you and me? What's mine is yours." He gave her a gentle push toward the fitting rooms. "Now go on." "You said it, you know." Hearing that, Lily stood on her toes and kissed his cheek. "You're mine, Ethan." Okay. I'm all yours." As the words left his mouth, he felt like something was slightly off. After Lily had tried on a few more outfits, Ethan bought every single one. "Thank you. Please come again," the associate said, waving them off. She watched them leave with an envious look in her eyes. Just then, another equally beautiful girl walked into the store. WL. Before the associate could finish, the girl cut her off. She pulled out a black credit card. "Give me one of everything that man just bought for that girl." That afternoon, Ethan and Lily bought everything they needed for the camping trip. Ethan, laden with 2 huge bags, collapsed onto a bench, panting. "Guess I need to start working out," he wheezed. "I'll start jogging tomorrow morning." Sitting beside him, Lily leaned her head on his shoulder and mumbled, "A weak Ethan is the best. Easier to catch if he tries to run." "What did you say, Lily?" "I said I'm going to the restroom." "Oh, okay. You go ahead. I'll just rest here." "Okay. Be a good boy, Ethan." She patted his head and walked away. Ethan rubbed the top of his head. "I'm not a little kid. Is her maternal instinct kicking in or something?" Just then, a voice spoke up beside him. "Well, what a coincidence, Ethan." Ethan looked over and saw Isabella. Her appearance was completely different from how she looked at school. Her usual short hair was tied into a side ponytail. She was wearing a plaid skirt and a crisp blouse, with a pair of black over-the-knee socks completing the preppy, almost gothic look. The original Ethan definitely had good taste, he had to admit. "Isabella? What are you doing here?" "What? Are you the only one allowed to shop here?" "That's not what I meant. I'm just surprised." Isabella tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "Maybe it's fate. By the way, I just bought a ton of clothes and I'm exhausted. Can I sit next to you and rest for a minute?" Ethan scooted over, leaving plenty of space. "Sure, go ahead. Thanks." Isabella smoothed her skirt and sat down. "You know, Ethan, you're actually really sweet. I never noticed that before." "Really? I guess so," Ethan said with a nervous laugh. "What's wrong with her? Why is she telling me this?" To his alarm, she suddenly scooted closer, her leg pressing against his. "If I had said yes on a rooftop that day," she whispered, Do you think things would be different now? Of course they'd be different. If he'd said yes, I probably wouldn't even be in this world. He couldn't exactly tell her he was a transmigrator, could he? And why are you so close? My Lily will get angry if she sees this. Getting annoyed by her proximity, Ethan stood up abruptly. I don't know about that, but I'm actually grateful to you, class rep. If it weren't for you, Lily and I would never have gotten together. His words were like a dagger twisting in Isabella's heart. Why? She asked. Her head bowed, so he couldn't see her expression. Why did you like me for 3 years? Only to just stop? Maybe I would have said yes eventually. Sorry, class rep, but there's no point in chasing a love you can't have. Anyway, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go find my Lily. She should be back any second. He started to walk away quickly. Something is seriously wrong with this woman. I'm getting the same dark vibe I used to get from Lily. Best to get out of here. Huh, a love you can't have. Is it? She thought, a cold smile forming on her lips. You are nothing but a loyal puppy, begging for its master's affection. You're my puppy, Ethan. Everything about you belongs to me. I tell you what to do, and you do it. That's what a good dog does. And since this dog isn't behaving, it needs to be put on a leash. Isabella's head snapped up, her eyes void of any emotion, like a robot executing a program. Her right hand slipped in her pocket, felt for a small black device, and secretly flicked a switch. Wait, Ethan, she called out, standing up and walking toward him. I have something I want to show you. Just as she was a few steps away, a figure darted between them, blocking her path. Well, hello there, Isabella, Lily said, her voice deceptively sweet. We appreciate you looking after our Ethan before, but I'd suggest you keep a safe distance from now on. Otherwise, someone might not be so safe anymore. Lily was smiling, but the look in her eyes was sharp enough to kill. Ah, so it's Lily, Isabella sneered. I was just chatting with Ethan about old times. Besides, a girl's got to have a backup plan, doesn't she? Unlike some people who just pick up someone else's sloppy seconds. At that, the air around Lily grew heavy and dark. Her eyes locked with Isabella's. It was a duel between a lioness and a tigress on the savannah, with a little deer in the middle as the victor's prize. Suddenly, a voice shattered the standoff. Sorry, class rep, but Lily and I have things to do. And for the record, I, Ethan White, only love Lily Foster. I hope you can be happy for us. With that, Ethan pulled Lily into his arms and pressed his lips against her cherry-red mouth. Lily's eyes widened in surprise. A second later, she melted into the kiss, responding tenderly to her lover's advance. All the while, she shot a look over his shoulder at Isabella, a look that was 70% provocation and 30% triumph. Isabella's jaw tightened. Tears welled up in her eyes against her will. Mumbling something about having to go, she grabbed her bags and ran off. As she fled, Lily noticed something strange. The logos on Isabella's shopping bags were from the exact same brands Ethan had just bought for her. But that thought was instantly swept away by Ethan's kiss. Right now, she was going to savor the sweet taste of victory. After a long moment, they broke apart. Wrapping her arms around his neck, Lily whispered, "You need to stay away from that woman, Ethan. I have a feeling she's dangerous." "I will," he promised, his hands resting on the small of her back. "By the way, what took you so long in the restroom?" My stomach hurt," she stammered, then looped her arm through his. "But it's all better now. Let's go home." Okay. He knew she was hiding something, but he didn't press it. Everyone has their secrets, after all. Back at the apartment, Lily covered Ethan's eyes with her hands. "Lily, close your eyes, Ethan. No peeking." So this is her secret, he thought. All right, they're closed. Lily waved a hand in front of his face to make sure he wasn't peeking, then pulled a small red box from her pocket. From it, she took a silver necklace. In the center hung a moon-shaped charm, engraved with a letter. Stepping behind him, she fastened the necklace around his neck. "Okay, you can open your eyes now." She handed him a mirror. Ethan looked and saw the delicate silver chain around his neck. "Do you like it, Ethan?" "I love it." His eyes started to well up, but he quickly blinked the tears away. How long had it been since someone had shown him such genuine care? The love from his host's parents was meant for their son. Even the love from the girl in front of him was probably, what role am I even playing in this world? What are you thinking about? Lily tilted his chin up, her gaze full of affection. "Can you tell me? Lily, when did you start to like me? Why don't I remember any of it? I've liked you since the day I first saw you," she said, her hands crossed over her chest. "If it weren't for you that day, the Lily you see now wouldn't exist." "I see." Ethan lowered his head, lost in thought. "But I like the current Ethan even more," she whispered, pulling his head against her chest. "The old Ethan was always scared of me, always avoiding me. The day you told me you liked me, It felt like a dream. It's like you became a completely different person. Hearing this, Ethan forgot all about the soft pressure against his face. A cold dread crept up his spine, and he began to tremble. She knows. I'm going to be found out. She'll kill me if she knows. Won't she? Maybe I should just confess? He was about to speak when she hugged him tighter. No matter what you become in the future, Ethan, I'll always love you. I just hope you never leave me. You're the only person in this world I care about. If you weren't in this world, there would be no reason for me to exist either. Her voice cracked. So please, Ethan, can you promise you'll never leave me? A lump formed in Ethan's throat. Hearing the frantic pounding of her heart, all his doubts and fears vanished. I promise. She's my salvation, too. After dinner, Ethan said he was going to take a shower, but Lily stopped him. Ethan, the necklace can't get wet. It'll change color if it does. Oh, okay. He took it off, placed it on the dining table, and went into the bathroom. Change color? How can a metal necklace do that? Lily picked it up and examined it, then opened an app on her phone. A small red dot pulsed on the screen. I'm sorry, Ethan. I don't want to do this, she whispered, placing the necklace back on the table. By the way, that other stuff should be here by now. Earlier, after leaving the mall, Lily hadn't gone to the restroom. She'd gone to a more specialized shop. Ding dong. The doorbell rang. A voice called from outside. Hello. Your delivery from this afternoon is here. I've left it at the door. Please remember to leave a 5-star review. After the sound of footsteps faded, Lily opened the door. She quickly grabbed the box on the doorstep and scurried into her room. Clank, clank. The sound of colliding metal and clinking glass bottles came from within the box. When Ethan came out of the shower, he found the living room empty. Lily, he called out. No answer. Where'd she go? He searched the apartment. The kitchen? Empty. The balcony? Empty. His bedroom? Empty. She must be in her room. He walked over and turned the handle to her door. Creak. The door swung open. The room was dark, but the light from the living room cut a sharp slice into the blackness. Ethan was about to step inside when he froze, stunned by the sight before him. Lily was just about to take off her shirt. Seeing him open the door, she paused, then tilted her head with a playful, teasing look. Can I help you, mister? Big Bad Wolf. Sorry. Ethan slammed the door shut, leaning his back against it and gasping for air. He then scurried back to his own bedroom. Phew. Lily let out a long breath. If he had taken one more step inside, he would have seen the items scattered on the floor. Chains, ropes, handcuffs, syringes. Good thing you didn't see, she murmured. Otherwise, I would have had to take drastic measures. The healing Ethan thought he was providing wasn't working. In fact, it was only making her possessiveness and protectiveness more intense. Seeing Isabella at the mall today, Lily had smelled a kindred spirit, and her sense of crisis had skyrocketed. There was only one Ethan. She couldn't lose him, any more than the West could lose Jerusalem. After hiding her tools, Lily opened her door and walked out. She found Ethan sitting on the couch, staring at the TV. "Ah, Lily, there you are," he said, glancing at her before quickly looking back at the screen. "What are you doing, Ethan?" "Watching TV." "But the TV isn't on." "All right, I'll stop teasing you." Lily grabbed his hand and pulled him toward the bedroom. "It's getting late. Time for us to go to sleep." The lights went out. As they lay in bed, Lily burrowed into Ethan's arms, finding a comfortable spot. "Ethan, can you tell me why Isabella showed up this afternoon?" "I don't know. She just appeared right after you left. She said it was a coincidence. A premeditated one, more like it." A spark of anger ignited in Lily's heart. She leaned in and bit down on his neck. "Oh, Lily, don't." Caught off guard by her sudden attack, Ethan's defenses crumbled instantly. "Well, if you can't fight it, you might as well enjoy it." After a long while, Lily lifted her head, satisfied with the mark she'd left on his neck. But it's not enough, she thought. This little mark is nowhere near enough. The frog was almost boiled. In a dark room, a doll was tied to a bed. "What you did today made me very unhappy, Ethan," Isabella purred, crawling up the bed and pinning the doll beneath her. "Why? I gave you another chance, so why didn't you cherish it? Do you really like that little fox that much? Tell me, why aren't you talking? Speak." Her voice grew frantic. She pulled a steak knife from behind her back and plunged it into the doll. The doll's stomach split open, white cotton bursting from a seam. Ha 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 ha. A chilling laugh filled the room. No one would ever have guessed that the proud, arrogant Isabella could look like this. The doll, its stuffing spilling out, visibly deflated, deader than dead. Isabella's clouded eyes gradually cleared. She looked at the doll, then at the knife in her hand, covered in cotton. Her body began to tremble. She didn't understand why. Whenever the image of Ethan and Lily together popped in her head, her body seemed to move on its own, consumed by the need to tear them apart and take back her dog from Lily. That's right. It's all Lily's fault, she muttered, grabbing the doll and tossing it onto the floor. She's the one who stole what was mine. The floor was littered with dolls of all shapes and sizes. They all had one thing in common: a picture of Ethan's face taped to theirs. Isabella pulled out her phone and dialed a number. Hello, yes. I'd like to book a room at a hotel near Mount Crestview. Time flew by, and soon it was Monday. After saying goodbye to Lily, Ethan headed to his classroom. Morning, Ethan, Leo King said with a wave. Did you put your camping gear on the bus? Yeah, just did. Good. Leo slicked back his hair and struck what he thought was a handsome pose. So what do you think? Nice threads, right? Took me forever to pick this out last night. Leo was wearing a black suit, a blue tie, and even polished leather boots. Is this guy for real? Ethan massaged his temples. Dude, we're going hiking and camping. Why are you wearing a suit? Oh, right. Leo's eyes widened in horror. Sigma. Duh, lol. Oh God, I'm an idiot. I was so focused on looking cool, I forgot what we were even doing. In the end, Leo managed to borrow a spare school uniform from a classmate. When their teacher, Mr. Davis, walked in, he glanced at Leo and nodded in approval. I never knew you were such a nostalgic person, Leo. Everyone else is in their own clothes, but you're repping the school uniform. As your homeroom teacher, I'm deeply moved. Seeing the smirk on Leo's face, Ethan had to physically restrain himself from laughing so hard he'd get an internal injury. I know everyone's excited, Mr. Davis announced. I'll just say a few quick things, and then we'll head out. First, once we get to Mount Crestview, you'll have free time until 8 p.m. We'll meet back at the base of the mountain at 8:30 sharp to take the bus back to school. Second, be safe out there in the wilderness. All right, that's all I have to say. Have fun, everyone. Woo! A cheer erupted from the class. The entire school set off, buzzing with excitement. Ethan got on a bus and found a window seat. Leo sat down next to him. Hey, Ethan. Leo nudged him with his elbow. Want to have a barbecue tonight? I brought my grill from home and my secret recipe sauce. Sound good? We'll be counting on you, Chef Leo. You can count on me, Leo said, puffing out his chest. By the way, you've been staring out that window since we got on. You looking for Lily's class bus? Ethan turned to him. You know where their bus is? Of course. Leo jutted his chin toward the bus next to them. That one right, there's class 5. Ethan peered into the bus, trying to spot Lily, but for some reason, it was empty. They probably just haven't boarded yet. They'll be here soon, Leo said. Just then, Isabella's voice cut through the aisle. Excuse me, Leo, but that's my seat. Could you please move back to your own? Huh. Leo looked baffled. I thought it was open seating. It is not, Isabella said, hands on her hips. Check the seating chart I posted in the group chat. Leo pulled out his phone, and, sure enough, there was a seating chart. And the seat next to Ethan was assigned to Isabella. See? Now, who do you believe me? Class rep, how about we trade seats? Leo asked, rubbing his hands together. I refuse. Ethan stood up. Then I'll just switch with Leo. No. Isabella pushed Leo out of the way and slid into the seat. The seats have been assigned and cannot be changed. It's for taking attendance. Beep, beep. The bus horn blared. All right, everyone, take your seats. We're heading out. Mr. Davis called as he boarded and found a seat. Ethan sighed in defeat and sat back down, turning to look out the window again. Ethan, can I ask you a question? Isabella said, leaning in close. You can, but please keep your distance. Fine. She pouted and sat back. What do you think of my hair today? Ethan glanced over and did a double take. Isabella, who usually wore her hair in a ponytail or a side tail, had it down today. And the style. It looked exactly like Lily's. Oh, it's fine. And what about this outfit? Ethan continued to offer non-committal replies, his patience wearing thin. Just then, students started boarding the bus across from them. Lily, wait for me. A girl called out, chasing after Lily. Lily glanced back. Zoe? What is it? We're in the same group. Zoe said, her cheeks puffed out like a hamster's. Can we sit together? Fine, Lily replied and got on the bus. Zoe rolled her eyes and followed her. The moment Lily sat down, she saw Ethan in the bus opposite hers. She was about to wave when she noticed who was sitting next to him. Isabella. Isabella saw her too. She smiled, gave Lily a little wink, and then pretended to lose her balance, tumbling toward Ethan. Isabella, what are you doing? Ethan asked, frowning. Sorry, Ethan. I just got a little dizzy, she said, her hands braced against his chest. Then please try not to fall in my direction. Ethan grabbed her shoulders and pushed her away. From where Lily was sitting, it looked like they were hugging. Zoe had just secretly opened a bag of chips. She was about to pop one in her mouth when Lily shot up from her seat, startling her so badly the chip went flying. It landed on the floor. Zoe looked at Lily, fuming. Lily, my chip. This is all your... She stopped short. Lily was staring out the window, her eyes like ice. Her fingernails were digging into her palms, her hands trembling. Her face was a dark, stormy mask, so oppressive it felt like it was sucking the air out of the bus. Zoe immediately shut her mouth and buried her head, looking down at the floor. My chip, she thought miserably. TT. Lily walked unsteadily down the aisle toward the door. A girl stood up. Lily, please return to your seat. The bus is about to leave. Zoe quickly shoved her bag of chips away and grabbed Lily's arm. Sorry, hall monitor, she said to the girl. Lily gets a little motion sick. I'll take her back to her seat. Then she leaned in and whispered in Lily's ear. Lily, you need to calm down. You don't want our class to miss the trip and have Ethan end up watching the sunset with someone else, do you? No. Lily shook her head and let Zoe lead her back to her seat. Isabella, can you please sit properly? Ethan snapped, his patience gone. He didn't care if she was dizzy. Why did she have to keep leaning on him? Seeing Lily sit back down and stare at her, Isabella was genuinely surprised. Lily actually held back. She had expected a full-blown meltdown that would get their class's camping privileges revoked. So Plan A failed. Could it be that someone was advising her? Achoo. Zoe rubbed her nose. Is someone talking about me? Whatever, I'll just go back to watching Bridgerton. Sorry, Ethan, Isabella said, sitting up straight. Hey, isn't that Lily over there? She asked, pointing. Ethan followed her finger and saw Lily staring daggers at them. Oh no, he thought. She must have seen that. Now I'll never be able to explain my way out of this. He quickly pulled out his phone and started sending frantic messages. Ding, ding, ding. The notification sounds chimed from Lily's phone one after another, but she acted as if she couldn't hear them, her eyes fixed on Isabella's smug, smiling face. So, you think this is fun, Isabella? Let's see if you're still smiling after I twist your head off. Isabella met Lily's gaze. For a second, she felt a flicker of fear, but she refused to back down, glaring right back. Bring it on. Who's afraid of whom? Rumble. The bus engine started, and one by one, they pulled away from the school. Zoe shivered and rubbed her arms. Why is it so cold in here? Is the AC too high? Are you cold, Lily? But Lily's eyes were wide, glued to the bus next to them. She was muttering a name under her breath, something that sounded like Isabella. Lily. Zoe tapped her on the shoulder. Lily turned, her face a blank mask. What is it? Ahem. Well, your phone was going off. At that, Lily snatched up her phone and saw the messages from Ethan. Ethan. Lily, are you okay? Leo was sitting next to me, but Isabella insisted we had to follow a seating chart, so she took his spot. Please don't misunderstand. Ethan, Lily. Ethan, Lily, please talk to me. Seeing his messages, Lily finally replied. Lily, I'm fine, Ethan. Can I come find you later? As soon as she hit send, she started counting the seconds. She couldn't bear to think about what Isabella might be doing to her Ethan on that bus, but she made a solemn vow. If Isabella so much as touched a single hair on his head, she would make sure Isabella never saw another sunrise. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. On the 4th second, Ethan replied. Ethan, of course. We can even have a barbecue with Leo tonight. 4 seconds. Not too slow. It meant Isabella wasn't actively seducing her Ethan. Lily, okay. I'll come find you as soon as we're dismissed. Ethan, sounds good. I'm going to take a nap. You really wore me out last night. He followed it with a winking emoji. Lily's face flushed as she remembered the previous night. She pouted and typed back furiously. Lily, it's all your fault for being so delicious. She added a lip-licking emoji. Ethan, ahem. Well, I'm getting sleepy, Lily. Go to sleep now, bye. His profile picture immediately turned gray. Oomph. A triumphant smile spread across Lily's face. She thought back to last night. Ethan had been lying in bed, reading a novel on his phone. What are you reading, Ethan? Lily, snuggled up beside him, had peered over his shoulder. Oh, just a novel. What's it called? You look so absorbed. Don't try to distract me, Ethan had said, slapping away a hand that was wandering over his stomach. Hiv, you can't me. Lily had sheepishly withdrawn her hand. The book is called Saving Serafina. It's about a guy who saves a girl who's on the verge of death, and then they fall in love over time. A chord struck within Lily. Ethan, she'd asked, surprised, do you remember? Huh? Remember what? And nothing. Lily's eyes had fallen, disappointed. She'd buried her face in his back. Sensing her mood shift, Ethan had put his phone aside, rolled over, and pulled her into his arms. Maybe I've forgotten some things along the way, he'd whispered, but I will never, ever forget that I, Ethan White, will always love Lily Foster. Ethan, you're going to make me lose control. In a fluid motion, Lily had rolled on top of him, looking down at him from above before leaning in for a kiss. By the end of it, Ethan had nearly passed out. Lily turned off her phone, her mind filled with happy thoughts of watching the sunsets side by side with Ethan. In that moment, she had even decided on the names for their future children. Ethan put his phone away and glanced at Isabella. She was leaning back in her seat, eyes closed, her breathing even. She must have fallen asleep. Huh. Ethan yawned. I wonder how much longer until we get there. Might as well get some sleep. The moment he drifted off, Isabella's eyes opened. She had been faking it, peeking through her eyelashes the entire time, reading his entire conversation with Lily. Wore him out all night. Fine. The thought of Ethan in bed with Lily, sharing moments of pleasure, made Isabella clench her jaw so hard her teeth nearly cracked. You disobedient little puppy. So you two are already living together. Since you won't behave, I'll just have to train you slowly. Plan B was now in effect. Screech. The bus came to a halt. All right, everyone, we're here. You can get off the bus, the driver announced. Once everyone was off, Mr. Davis gathered the class and had them line up. Okay, everyone, I won't repeat myself. Just remember the rules from this morning. Have a great time. Yeah. The class cheered and broke off into their groups to start the hike up the mountain. Ethan, let's go, Leo said, running over with a backpack and a large cooler. Let's find a spot to camp and drop our stuff off. Ethan had wanted to wait for Lily, but seeing the heavily armed Leo, he sighed, took some of the gear, and said, All right, let's go find a spot for your stuff. Ethan, you're the best, Leo said, sniffing dramatically. If I were a girl, I'd totally marry you. Piss off, you freak. Let's just go. Suddenly, a hand took the bag from Ethan. I'll help too. We're in the same group, after all, Isabella said. Ethan reached for the bag. You don't have to. I can carry it. Isabella dodged his hand. Are you saying I'm not strong enough? That's not what I meant. Then let me help you. Ugh, fine. Do what you want. Ethan relented. Leo, seeing this, piped up, class rep, I could actually use some help over here too. Can't you be considerate of a girl for once? Isabella shot him a hateful glare. Right, Leo thought. So you're only helping Ethan. After hiking for a while, the three of them found a wide, open area. How about here? Leo said, plopping down on the grass, out of breath. Works for me. Ethan pulled out his phone and saw a message from Lily. Lily. Sorry, Ethan. Our bus got stuck in traffic. I might be a little late. Ethan quickly replied. Ethan, it's okay, Lily. We've already found a camping spot halfway up the mountain. Just come straight here when you arrive. Lily. Okay, wait for me, Ethan. All right, let's get set up, Ethan said, taking a tin out of his backpack. Lily's going to be here soon, and I need to go meet her. You guys get started. I'm going to the restroom, Isabella said, picking up her travel bag and walking off. Neither Ethan nor Leo thought much of it and let her go. Isabella went into a stall in the restroom and pulled a white dress from her bag. She changed into it. If Ethan were to see her, he'd be stunned. It was one of the dresses he had bought for Lily over the weekend. If I remember correctly, this is the dress Lily is wearing today, Isabella murmured to her reflection. From the back, she was a dead ringer for Lily. Next, she took out a bottle of unknown liquid and several vials of pills. Just you wait, Lily Foster, she whispered. I'm the one who's going to win in the end. Class 5's bus finally arrived at the base of the mountain. Since they were behind schedule, their teacher dismissed them to explore on their own. Zoe followed behind Lily. Lily, are you leaving? Aren't you going to stick with our group? Yeah. Lily looked back at Zoe apologetically. Sorry, Zoe, I have something important to do. It's okay, I get it, Zoe said with a sly grin. You're going to see your man, aren't you? Caught. Lily gave Zoe a playful glare. You're too smart for your own good. All right, stop teasing. I'm going to find Ethan. Come join us for the barbecue tonight. You got it. For all, at the mention of food, Zoe's eyes lit up. Lily realized she had Zoe to thank. If Zoe hadn't stopped her, she wouldn't be on her way to explore the mountain with Ethan right now. Thank you, Zoe. It was the first time Lily had ever genuinely smiled at someone else. The girl's smile was like a spring breeze, warming Zoe's heart. Watching Lily walk away, Zoe thought with a pang of regret, why wasn't I born a boy? Wanting to surprise Ethan, Lily didn't message him. Thwack! A hammer drove the last stake into the ground. Leo stood back to admire his handiwork. Tent's all set up. What do you think, Ethan? Ethan walked over and froze. Leo, why is the opening of your tent facing up? Ding! A message appeared on Ethan's phone. Isabella, Ethan, I see Lily. Her class is at gate 2. She told me to tell you to come down and help her with her things. Ethan replied immediately. Ethan, okay, I'm on my way. He gave Leo a quick wave and headed down the mountain. It wasn't until he was completely gone that Leo had a sudden thought. That's weird. I thought everyone was dropped off at gate 1. Did I remember wrong? When Ethan reached gate 2, the large, open area was completely empty. Strange. There's not a single person here, not even a bus. He scratched his head, puzzled. Well, I guess I'll just call Lily. He was about to pull out his phone when he spotted a white figure in the distance. Is that Lily? He murmured. He wasn't sure, but he knew she was wearing the white dress he'd bought her. As he got closer, the blurry figure became clearer. It was a girl in a white dress, the very one he'd bought for Lily. Ethan breathed a sigh of relief and walked up to her. Sorry I'm late, Lily. Hey, where is everyone from your class? When Lily didn't turn around, he stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her from behind. What's wrong? Are you mad at me? Wait a second. This scent. You're not Lily. Ethan quickly let go and stumbled back. Your embrace is so warm, Isabella purred, turning to face him. Now I finally understand why Lily likes you so much. Her expression was sick, predatory, like a hunter cornering its prey. Isabella? What are you doing here? He said in disbelief. Just then, she pulled a small spray bottle from her bag and sprayed it directly in his face. Caught completely off guard, Ethan inhaled a large amount of the substance. Ugh, what did you spray me with? He choked out, belatedly covering his nose. But it was too late. The gas was already in his system. Just a little something to help you relax, Isabella said, her voice dripping with mockery, looking at him like a fish flopping on a cutting board. Ethan tried to run, but his head was spinning and his feet felt like they were encased in lead. Isabella caught him as he swayed. What's wrong, Ethan? Aren't you feeling well? Come on. Let your master take care of you. I'll take you to the hose-pie towel. As her voice trailed off, Ethan's world went black. Lily arrived at the spot where Ethan had told her to meet him. She looked around, but he was nowhere to be seen. Strange, where's Ethan? Then, she spotted a boy in a school uniform in the distance. It was Leo, who was currently trying to repitch his tent. Success. The opening isn't facing up anymore. I'm a genius. Leo inspected his work, then realized there was still no entrance on any of the sides. What the hell? Is this tent haunted? He frowned, thinking hard, then looked down and lifted the tent floor. Great. I put it on backwards. The opening is on the bottom. Forget it. I'll just work on the grill, he muttered, tossing his tools aside. Weird. Why isn't Ethan back yet? Just as he was thinking this, he heard footsteps behind him. Ethan, you're finally back. Did you find Lily? He turned and saw only Lily standing there. Huh? Lily, you're here? Where's Ethan? Leo, where's Ethan? They both spoke at the same time. You don't know. Lily shook her head. I just got here. Ethan told me to wait for him here. For some reason, a wave of panic washed over her. That's weird. He told me Isabella sent him a message saying you were waiting for him at gate 2. Didn't he just go to find you? What did you say? Isabella. Yeah, I was wondering why. Before Leo could finish, Lily was gone, running down the path. What's going on? Why is everyone acting so strange? Leo scratched his head, watching her disappear. As Lily ran, images flashed through her mind. The chance encounter with Isabella at the mall, everything that had happened today. Isabella had planned this, and her target was Ethan. Wait for me, Ethan. When Lily reached gate 2, there was no trace of Ethan or Isabella. Isabella, Lily hissed through gritted teeth. If Isabella were here right now, Lily would tear her limb from limb. Lily's eyes turned pitch black, as deep and silent as a black hole, terrifying in their stillness. I gave you a chance, she whispered to the empty space. If you want to play, then I'll play along. She pulled out her phone, opened an app, and a bright red dot appeared on the map. Found you. The scene shifted to a hotel room. Ethan's eyes fluttered open. Ugh, where am I? I think I passed out. He looked around at the unfamiliar surroundings and was instantly on high alert. This is a hotel room? No, I have to get out of here. He tried to sit up, but found himself tied to the bed, unable to move. What? What is this? He tugged at the restraints, which clinked loudly. Oh, you're awake. Isabella walked out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, her hair still dripping. Isabella? What do you want? You. Hit. Are you that impatient already? Ethan? Don't worry after I take a shower. I'll come take good care of you. She gave him a suggestive wink and disappeared back in the bathroom. Why is she acting exactly like Lily used to? Is she a Yandere too? Ethan's mind raced, but he couldn't make sense of it. The original Ethan hadn't been that entangled with her, so why was she doing this? Right now, the most important thing was to escape. He refused to become a Yandere's plaything. He turned his head and saw a key on the nightstand. Is that the key to these cuffs? He strained, trying to reach it with his head, but it was too far. Just as he was trying to figure out a plan, Isabella walked out. Such a stubborn one, aren't you? Don't worry. After tonight, you won't ever want to leave me. She emptied a bag onto the bed, spilling out countless pills. This one will make you excited. This one will give you stamina. And this one will make you obedient. So, which one should we start with? Isabella, I'm warning you, don't do anything crazy. Ethan struggled frantically as she approached. Isabella picked up a syringe and jabbed it into his arm. As he felt the liquid being injected, he cried out in alarm. "What did you give me?" "Just a sedative. Now, open your mouth and take this." She held a pill to his lips. Ethan clamped his mouth shut, refusing to give in. But Isabella simply straddled him and used her other hand to pinch his nose shut. MMPH. After holding his breath for nearly a minute, Ethan instinctively gasped for air. In that instant, Isabella shoved the pill into his mouth, fingers and all. Once the pill was inside, she smiled with satisfaction and slowly leaned down. When her lips were just a fraction of an inch from his, she stopped. She traced a finger along his cheek. "You know," she whispered, "what if I recorded us playing together and sent the video to Lily? I'm sure she would just love that." "Why? Why are you doing this to me? Why?" Isabella suddenly grabbed his throat, her voice rising to a scream. "It's because of that bitch Lily. If she wasn't with you, you would still only love me." "I don't love you," Ethan choked out. "Impossible. You confessed to me yourself. 3 years. I know you like me for 3 years. What, now that you have Lily, you're just going to deny it?" She squeezed his neck harder. Just as he felt his consciousness fading, she released her grip. "Cough, cough, cough." He coughed violently, his lungs burning. Isabella leaned down and bit his neck, breaking the skin. Dark red blood began to trickle out. The sharp pain made him cry out. "She's insane. This woman is a complete psycho." After a moment, Isabella straightened up and shrugged off her robe. "Foreplay's over. Now for the main event." "No, don't," Ethan whispered, his eyes fluttering weakly before he passed out again. Click. Just then, the sound of a doorknob turning came from the door. "Who's there?" Isabella's head snapped toward the entrance. The door swung open, and Lily slowly walked in, her face a thunderous mask. Her deep, dark eyes were fixed on Isabella on the bed. She looked like the Grim Reaper standing before a condemned soul, and a shiver of pure terror ran down Isabella's spine. "How is this possible? How'd you find me?" "I locked the door," Isabella shrieked, pointing a trembling finger at Lily. Lily didn't say a word. She just looked at Ethan, lying unconscious on the bed. Then, her eyes widened as she noticed something. She rushed forward, touched Ethan's neck, and then turned her gaze, now filled with murderous rage, on Isabella. "Did you do this?" "That's right, I did." "You lose, Lily Foster." "Ha ha ha." Isabella laughed, her voice cracking with hysteria. Without a word, Lily pulled a steak knife from her sleeve and lunged at her. Sensing the danger, Isabella scrambled off the bed, dodging the attack. "Are you crazy?" she screamed. "Do you have any idea what you're doing?" Lily seemed not to hear her, relentlessly advancing on the retreating Isabella. "Why? Why does everyone have to get in my way?" Lily's body swayed as she walked. "I just want to live a quiet life with Ethan." Thump! Isabella's back hit the wall. She was trapped. The suffocating presence of death enveloped her. "No, Lily, you can't kill me. You win, okay? I'll give Ethan back to you. I don't want him anymore. Please, please don't kill me." Terrified, Isabella dropped to her knees and slammed her forehead against the floor again and again. She had never imagined Lily could be more terrifying than her. If she had known, she never would have attempted such a thing. Lily crouched down, grabbed Isabella's hair, and yanked her head up. She ran the cold, flat side of the blade back and forth across Isabella's cheek. "Do you know how jealous I used to be of you? When I found out the old Ethan liked you, I wanted so badly to become you. But you never said yes, so I held back. But now that Ethan is with me, why did you have to interfere?" "Why, I'm sorry." Isabella sobbed, overwhelmed by a pain she had never known. She had always been her father's precious jewel, the shining star of her class. She had never experienced this kind of torment. "No, please, no," she screamed in terror. The girl in front of her was a demon straight from hell. Just then, a voice came from the doorway. "Hello, room service. Do you require any assistance?" A hotel employee poked his head in. Seeing her chance, Isabella scrambled away from Lily and ran for the door. She crashed into the employee, knocking him to the ground, and kept running, disappearing down the hall. The employee looked after her, bewildered. "What's wrong with that young lady?" "Huh? And why is there a puddle on the floor?"